Why are we even here? Have you ever just stopped, maybe looking out a window, and truly wondered, why am I here? What's the point of it all? This isn't just a random thought. It's a huge question humans have been asking forever. When we ask, why are we even here? We're digging into the idea of purpose. Is there a big reason for life, or for the universe? Does each of us have a specific role, or is there no grand plan, just things happening by chance? It's a deep mystery. For thousands of years, people worldwide have tried to figure this out. Ancient Greek thinkers debated it. Different religions offered spiritual answers, connecting us to something bigger. Scientists look for clues in how the universe began and works, searching for origins. But here's the thing. No one has found one single answer everyone agrees on. It's like everyone is reading a different part of the same incredibly long, mysterious story. Think about a simple growing plant. Does a plant have a purpose? It sprouts from a seed, grows leaves, makes flowers, then new seeds. Is its purpose to make more plants? Or is it just following its natural design, reacting to sunlight and water? For us, it's a bit like that. We don't come with an instruction manual telling us our mission. We aren't told if our purpose is to get good grades, or find a job, or something else. So, maybe the answer isn't a fixed destination. Maybe the why isn't something someone else tells you. Instead, it could be something you discover, or even create, for yourself. The question itself can be a guide, making you think about what truly matters to you. It's okay not to have all the answers. The true beauty might be in asking the question, in exploring what makes your own life feel meaningful, every single day. And that's why it matters, because thinking about it helps you understand yourself, and your place in the world just a little better. What happens after we die? Have you ever really thought about what happens after a person dies? It's one of the biggest questions humans have ever asked. And here's the thing, no one actually knows the answer for sure. It's a huge mystery that has puzzled people for thousands of years. We can guess, and we can believe, but we can't truly know. Think about cultures long ago, like the ancient Egyptians. They built massive pyramids because they believed in a journey to an afterlife. They thought your spirit would continue on, maybe even in another form. Other ideas, like reincarnation, suggest our spirit might return to Earth in a new body, like a continuous cycle. But then, some people believe that when we die, it's just over, like turning off a light switch. Your consciousness, your memories, your you, simply stops existing. It's a bit like a story. When you finish reading a book, the characters don't just disappear. Their story stays with you, in your memory. Or think about energy. In science class, you learn that energy isn't created or destroyed. It just changes form. Maybe something similar happens with our own energy, our being. It transforms into something else, even if we don't understand what that something else is. So, the question isn't really about finding one right answer. It's more about the quiet wonder of it all. It reminds us that life itself is precious. This deep mystery encourages us to live fully and kindly now, because the present moment is the only one we truly have. It's a question that helps us appreciate the gift of being here, today. Is time truly real, or just a concept? We talk about time all the time, don't we? Minutes, hours, years. We say time passes, time flies, time stands still. But have you ever really stopped to think about what time actually is? Is it a solid thing that exists out there, separate from us, like a tree or a distant planet? Or is it more like a powerful idea our brains created to help us understand the world, to put events in order, to mark a clear before and an after? Think about this. When you're doing something you love, like playing your favorite game or laughing with friends, time seems to just zoom by, right? It feels like minutes pass in the blink of an eye. But if you're stuck in a super boring class, every minute can feel like an hour. It's almost like our own minds have the power to stretch and shrink time based on our feelings. For thousands of years, brilliant thinkers have puzzled over this. Ancient philosophers like Aristotle wondered if time was simply a way to measure, change the movement of things. And much later, incredibly smart scientists, most famously Albert Einstein, showed us something even wilder. His theories of relativity showed that time isn't a constant, unchanging flow for everyone. It can actually speed up or slow down, depending on how fast you're moving through space, or how strong gravity is around you. This means time isn't just a perfectly steady river, flowing the same way for every person. It's not one giant clock, ticking away equally for everyone. Instead, It's more like a flexible fabric that can bend and warp. It's part of the universe's structure, but it's not rigid. So, if time can be so different, if it can feel so personal, and if it's not a fixed thing for everyone, does that mean it's not real in the same solid way a wall is real? Maybe it's more like a deep story we tell ourselves, a framework we use to organize our memories and plans. It's a way for us to make sense of the endless changes happening around us. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? If time is mostly a concept, then perhaps the most real time we truly have is just this very moment, right here, right now. Asterisk. Are we living in a giant dream? Have you ever woken up from a really vivid dream, and for a few seconds, you weren't sure what was real? That feeling, that tiny moment of confusion, is actually a huge question some deep thinkers have asked for centuries. They wonder, what if our whole life, everything we see, hear, and touch, is actually just like that dream? What if our reality isn't solid or true, but just a very powerful illusion? This isn't a new idea. Thousands of years ago, a famous Greek philosopher named Plato thought about something similar. He had this idea of a cave, where people were chained, only able to see shadows on a wall. They thought these shadows were everything real, their whole world. But outside the cave, there was a whole other world casting those shadows. Plato wondered if our own world might be like those shadows, a reflection of something much bigger and truer that we can't quite grasp. Here's how it works in a more modern way. Think about playing a really advanced virtual reality game. When you put on the headset, you step into a whole new world. You might walk through ancient ruins or fly through space. You can interact with things, make choices, and it feels incredibly real while you're in it. But you know, deep down, that when you take the headset off, you'll be back in your own room. So here's the thing. What if our entire existence is just an even bigger, more complex version of that VR game, and we're just characters playing inside it? We don't have a headset to take off, but the feeling of reality is just as strong. This idea can feel strange, even a little unsettling. It makes you wonder about the true nature of everything around you, but it also adds a layer of magic to everyday life. If our world could be a dream, then every sunset, every laugh with a friend, every taste of your favorite food becomes even more precious. These moments, real or not, are the only ones we have to experience. And that's a deep kind of wonder, making us appreciate the mystery of simply being here. Asterisk. What is a thought, really? We have thousands of them every single day. They pop into our heads when we're walking, eating, or just staring out the window. But what exactly is that inner voice, that sudden idea, that memory flashing through your mind? It's not something you can touch or hold, right? For thousands of years, people have asked this very question. Ancient Greek philosophers, some of the first deep thinkers, wondered if our thoughts lived somewhere separate from our bodies. Was the mind like a ghost inside the machine? Later, someone like René Descartes famously said, "I think, therefore I am." He meant that the very act of thinking proved he existed. But that still doesn't tell us what a thought actually is. Is it just electricity? Just chemicals? Here's the thing. When you think, your brain lights up. Tiny electrical signals, called neurons, are firing off, connecting with each other. It's like a massive, intricate network of flashing lights. When you remember your favorite song, it's not just the sound, it's the feeling, maybe a memory of where you first heard it. All of that is your brain creating a unique pattern of these electrical sparks. Think about deciding what to have for lunch. Your brain pulls up images, tastes, and even how hungry you feel. That whole internal review is a thought taking shape. So, is a thought just a spark, or is it something more? Maybe it's the amazing dance of countless sparks that creates something truly special, your unique way of seeing the world. It's the quiet magic that makes you, you, and that's why it matters to wonder about it. Asterisk. Does free will truly exist? Okay, so let's think about this. Do you ever feel like you're completely in charge of every choice you make? Like right now, you decided to read these words. That felt like your choice, right? Here's the thing. Free will is the idea that we, as humans, truly get to decide what we do, what we think, and how we react. It means you chose that outfit this morning. You picked that snack, and you decided to open this book. It feels so obvious, doesn't it? We feel like we have control. But here's where it gets really deep. For thousands of years, smart people have wondered if we really have that much freedom. Some ancient thinkers believed many things are fated, or already decided. Others wondered if our choices are just the result of everything that happened before, our upbringing, our genes, or tiny chemical reactions in our brains. It's like a long chain of cause and effect. Think about it this way. You pick a blue shirt today. Was that a truly free choice? Or did something in your memory, like seeing blue yesterday, or a certain mood, push you towards that color? Our brains are amazing, but they follow patterns. A scientist might say your brain is just firing signals based on its own history. So, are you making the choice, or is your brain reacting to its past? This isn't about saying your choices don't matter. They absolutely do. It's just a question that makes you pause and think about how much control we truly have. It makes you wonder about the mystery of being human, and how our inner world connects to the vast universe. Even if we don't fully understand it, just thinking about it can change how you see your day. Asterisk. Is everything already decided for us? Do you ever wonder if the choices you make are truly your choices? Or if everything, every single thing that happens, was already set in stone long before you were even born? It's a big question, one that people have thought about for thousands of years. It touches on something called fate, or destiny. This idea suggests that our lives are like a movie script already written, and we're just acting out our parts. For a long time, thinkers and philosophers wrestled with this. Some believed in something called determinism. This means they thought every event, including our actions, is completely caused by what came before it. Like a chain reaction. If you know all the causes, you could predict everything that will happen next. It's a bit like dominoes falling. Once the first one tips, all the others are decided. But then there's the idea of free will. This says we actually have the power to choose. We can decide what to eat for lunch, what book to read, or which path to take to school. Those decisions feel real, like we're truly making them in the moment. Think about it. When you pick out your clothes in the morning, do you feel like you had to pick that specific shirt, or did you genuinely choose it from your closet? And does that choice, simple as it is, somehow change the rest of your day? Here's the thing. Nobody has a final, clear answer. It's a mystery. If everything is decided, does it matter what we do? But if we truly have free will, then every single decision carries a lot of weight. And that's why it matters to think about it. Maybe the wonder isn't in finding a definite answer, but in asking the question itself. It makes you look at your actions, your thoughts, and your future in a whole new way. It makes you wonder just how much of your own story you're writing right now. Asterisk. Why do we feel things so deeply? Have you ever wondered why some moments hit us so hard? Why a song can make you tear up, or a friend's hug can make everything okay? This deep feeling inside us is a powerful thing. It's like our hearts have extra strong wires. For a long time, people have asked this question. Ancient thinkers, like the Greek philosophers, wondered about emotions. They saw that feelings weren't just random. They were a core part of being human, helping us understand the world. Here's the thing. Our feelings are like an old warning system and a compass. Imagine touching something hot. The pain tells you, don't do that again. That deep feeling helps you remember to be careful next time. This isn't just about pain. Think about joy. When you laugh with friends, that feeling of happiness builds connections. It tells your brain, this is good. Stay close to these people. Our brains remember strong emotions. This is how we learn what's safe, dangerous, and what brings us joy. It's why we remember a hurtful comment, but also why the feeling of winning something you worked hard for stays with you. So, why do we feel things so deeply? Maybe it's not a problem, but a natural part of us. These strong feelings, whether good or tough, are how we truly experience life. They help us connect to others, learn from our past, and find meaning in our everyday. They make us human. When you feel something strong, maybe just pause and notice it. It's a sign that you are truly alive and engaging with the world. This can help you understand yourself better. Asterisk. What is consciousness, anyway? Have you ever stopped to wonder, truly wonder, why you feel like you? Not just your body, but that inner part that thinks and feels and knows it exists. That's what consciousness is. It's the feeling of being awake, aware of the world around you, and aware of your own thoughts and feelings. It's what lets you know you're reading these words right now. For a very long time, people have tried to figure this out. Ancient Greek thinkers and later philosophers, like René Descartes, wondered if consciousness was separate from the body, maybe even part of the soul. Descartes famously said, "I think, therefore I am." He meant that thinking itself proves you exist, But then, others wondered if consciousness was just what the brain does, like how a stomach digests food. Think about it like this. When you play a video game, you control the character on the screen. You see what the character sees. You make them move. But you, the player, are not inside the screen. You are separate, holding the controller, making choices. Consciousness is a bit like being that player in your own life. You are in your body, but you also observe it, feel it, and guide it. You feel your hunger. You decide to grab a snack. That feeling, that decision-making is consciousness at work. Even though scientists can map out brain activity and understand how neurons fire, they still don't know why those firings create the feeling of seeing blue, or the sadness of a bad day. It's a mystery. We can see the parts, but not the whole picture of how feeling and awareness come from them. It makes you realize maybe the biggest mysteries are closest to us, hidden inside our own minds. It's something to quietly wonder about, this unique spark that makes us, us. Asterisk. Are we alone in the whole universe? When you look up at the night sky, do you ever feel incredibly small? A bigger thought might then bubble up. Are we really the only ones here? This isn't just for science fiction. It's a deep, old puzzle humans have wondered about for thousands of years. Here's the thing. The universe is unbelievably vast. Imagine this. If every grain of sand on Earth represented a star, there would still be more stars out there. Many of those stars have planets, just like our sun has Earth. So, with so many places, could Earth be the only planet with life? For ages, people just guessed. Ancient thinkers, long before telescopes, stared at stars and imagined other worlds. Today, scientists use powerful tools to listen for signals and look for signs of water or air on distant planets. It's not just about finding intelligent beings. Even a tiny microbe on another world would change everything. It would tell us life isn't a one-time fluke just here. Imagine trying to find one specific blue marble in an ocean of marbles. Hard, right? But if there are countless oceans, the chances of another blue one suddenly seem much higher. That's a bit like our search for life beyond Earth. We haven't found a definite answer. No clear signs, no alien broadcasts yet. But that doesn't mean we're alone. It just means we haven't found them. This question reminds us how much we don't know about our place in the cosmos. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Whether we are the only minds gazing out into the dark, or if someone else, somewhere, is asking the same question about us. It's a mystery that keeps us looking up, full of quiet hope and wonder. Asterisk. Where did the universe come from? Have you ever looked up at the night sky and truly wondered, what was before all of this? What started everything? It's one of the biggest questions humans have ever asked. For a long time, people told stories, myths, and legends to explain where our world, and everything in it, came from. Many cultures believed powerful gods or vast, unknowable forces shaped the cosmos into existence. These stories helped make sense of a world that seemed to just ... They offered a way to understand the very earliest beginnings. Today, science offers a leading idea called the Big Bang Theory. Here's the thing, it wasn't a bang like an explosion. Think of it more like everything that exists, all matter, all energy, even space itself, starting incredibly small, hotter and denser than anything we can imagine. Then, it began to expand, and it's still expanding today. Imagine blowing up a balloon. All the tiny dots on the surface move away from each other as it gets bigger. That's a bit like how the universe is expanding. The Big Bang isn't about something exploding into space, but space itself stretching out, carrying everything with it. But this explanation only goes back so far. It describes what happened right after the very, very beginning. It doesn't tell us what was before that tiny dense point, or why it appeared in the first place. This is where science reaches its edge, and philosophy and wonder take over. We're left with a deep mystery, and that's okay. Sometimes, the most beautiful questions don't have simple answers. We are living proof of this grand, expanding story, a part of its unfolding mystery. It reminds us how much there is still to learn, and how truly vast and amazing our existence is. Asterisk. Is there an end to space? Have you ever looked up at the night sky, past the stars we can see, and wondered if it just goes on and on forever? It's one of those questions that can really make your head spin. Here's the thing about space. It doesn't just hold stars and galaxies, it's also expanding. Imagine blowing up a balloon. If you drew dots on the surface of that balloon, as it gets bigger, the dots move farther apart. That's a bit like how galaxies are moving away from each other in our universe. But what is space expanding into? That's where it gets really tricky. For a long time, people have asked if there's a giant wall or a boundary somewhere, a final stop sign for everything. Early thinkers, even ancient Greek philosophers, wrestled with this idea. They knew Earth felt big, but the idea of everything just ending felt weird. So, maybe it just keeps going without limit. Or maybe space is shaped like the surface of a giant sphere, but in 3 dimensions. Think about walking on Earth. You can keep walking in any direction, for miles and miles, and you never fall off an edge, right? You just eventually come back to where you started. That's because Earth's surface is curved, not flat with edges. Some scientists wonder if space might be like that, curved in a way that, if you could travel long enough, you'd never hit an end. But you might eventually loop back around to where you began. It wouldn't have an edge in the way we usually think. This thought really stretches our minds. It challenges us to think beyond what we can easily picture in our daily lives. Maybe the answer isn't a simple yes or no to an end. Maybe space just is, without a barrier, without an outside, and thinking about that makes us realize how much bigger and stranger reality might be than we can ever fully grasp. It makes us feel small, but also part of something truly endless and mysterious. Asterisk. What if gravity stopped working? Have you ever wondered what would happen if the invisible pull, keeping your feet on the ground, just ... stopped? It's a strange thought. Gravity is one of those constants, always there, doing its job. It's the force pulling everything with mass towards everything else. It keeps our planet orbiting the sun. It makes apples fall from trees. But what if, for just a moment, or forever, it simply went away? Picture this: your backpack, your desk, even you, would slowly drift upwards. Nothing would stay put. A glass of water wouldn't pour. It would float out as a wobbling sphere. Here's the thing, we're so used to gravity, we rarely think about it. Not until someone like Isaac Newton came along. He supposedly saw an apple fall and asked why. That led to our understanding of this basic force. Before him, people just knew things fell. He helped us see how and why. But the bigger question still lingers. Why is gravity even a thing? Why are these invisible connections? Think how much we rely on it. Every step you take, every time you sit, gravity is quietly at work. It literally grounds us. If it vanished, our world wouldn't just be chaos. It would be unrecognizable. Imagine kicking a soccer ball. Instead of arcing down, it would just sail off into space, forever. So, this question isn't just about floating. It makes us think about all the unseen forces holding our world together. It's about the silent rules that allow everything to make sense, from tiny dust motes to giant stars. And it reminds us that the things we take most for granted are often the very foundations of our existence. It gives us a sense of wonder about the deeper order of things, about the quiet pulls that shape our lives, both seen and unseen. Asterisk. Can you ever truly know yourself? Have you ever really stopped to think about the person looking back at you in the mirror? It seems like an easy question, right? You live in your own head, so you should know yourself best. But here's the thing. Our inner world is vast, like an unexplored map. Our thoughts, our feelings, and even what we truly believe can shift and change, sometimes without us even noticing. Long ago, wise people in ancient Greece thought about this a lot. They even carved the words "Know thyself" above a famous temple. For them, it wasn't just about knowing your name or what you like to do. It was about understanding your deepest motivations, your strengths, and even your hidden weaknesses. They believed it was a lifelong quest, not a quick answer you could just look up. It meant looking deep inside yourself. Honestly, think about it like this. Your brain is always busy, even when you're not thinking about it. It's processing tons of information, making new connections every second. It's like a garden that's always growing and changing. One day, a new idea might sprout, or an old belief might wither away. And because of this constant change, the you of today isn't exactly the you of last year, or even last week. You're always evolving. You might discover a new talent you never knew you had, or find out you react differently to situations than you expected. So, maybe truly knowing yourself isn't about finding one single, final answer that stays the same forever. Maybe it's more about accepting that you are a journey, not a destination. It's about being curious about yourself, observing how you grow, and being okay with the mystery of it all. It means understanding that the path to knowing yourself is endless, and that's actually pretty cool. It means there's always more to discover, right there, inside your own mind. And that's why it matters. This ongoing discovery helps you understand your place in the world. Asterisk. Does everyone see colors the same way? Have you ever really stopped to wonder about something as simple as color? Like, does the bright red of a juicy apple look exactly the same to you as it does to the person next to you? It's easy to just assume we all see the world in the same way. But here's the thing. Our eyes capture light, and our brains then translate that light into the colors we see. Every single person has slightly different cells in their eyes that pick up color, and everyone's brain processes that information in its own unique way. So, what your brain labels blue might be a slightly different shade or intensity from what my brain calls blue. This isn't just a new idea. For hundreds of years, deep thinkers and philosophers have asked this very question. They wondered if our private experience of color truly matches up with anyone else's. Is the red I see the exact same as the red you see? Or do we simply learn to call our individual experiences by the same word, red, even if they're different inside our minds? It's a question about how we sense the world around us. Think about someone who is colorblind. For them, certain colors, like red and green, might look almost identical, like shades of brown or gray. A vibrant red stop sign might just appear as a dull, indistinct shape to them. They still know it means stop because of its shape and where it's placed, but the color itself is different. Even if you're not colorblind, your blue or yellow might be a tiny bit different from mine. It's like when a group of friends listens to the same song. One person hears the bass more, another hears the lyrics, and someone else notices the guitar. They're all hearing the same song, but their experience of it is unique. So, it's possible that each of us lives in our own slightly unique, personal world of color. It doesn't mean anyone is wrong or right. It just means that the vibrant world you experience, with all its unique shades and hues, is something truly special and deeply personal to you. And understanding that makes the simple act of seeing the world feel much more profound and amazing. Asterisk. Why do we forget so much? Have you ever lost your keys, or forgotten the name of someone you just met? It feels strange, doesn't it? How easily certain memories just slip away. Forgetting can feel like a glitch in our minds, a frustrating problem. But what if it's not a flaw at all? What if forgetting is actually a secret superpower our brains use to help us? For a long time, people thought memory was like a perfect library, where every single experience was stored forever. But here's the thing, our brains are always working, always changing. They're not just recording everything, they're also busy, deciding what's important enough to keep. So, forgetting isn't just about losing information, it's also about clearing out the clutter, making space for new thoughts and feelings. Think of your brain like your phone's storage. If you keep every single picture and video you ever took, your phone would slow down and eventually run out of space. You need to delete old, less important files to make room for new ones, right? Your brain does something similar, but way more complex and clever. It's constantly deciding which memories are useful and which ones can fade into the background. Ancient thinkers, like the Greek philosopher Aristotle, wondered a lot about memory. They knew even back then that remembering wasn't perfect. Forgetting allows us to move past old hurts, learn from mistakes without being stuck in them, and focus on what's happening now. It helps us adapt. So, next time you forget something, maybe think of it not as a failure, but as your brain quietly working its magic. It's making sure you have room for all the new amazing things you're going to learn and experience. It helps you keep moving forward. Asterisk. What's the point of learning things? Have you ever stopped to really ask, why do I even need to learn all this stuff? It's easy to see learning as just homework, or endless tests, or even just something you have to do. But here's the thing, learning is much bigger than that. It's how we build our inner world, piece by piece, day by day. Don't think about people long ago, thousands of years ago. They didn't have schools or textbooks, but they looked at the stars, wondered about the ocean, and tried to figure out why things happened. They were always learning. They watched the sun move across the sky to understand seasons. They observed animals to learn how to hunt. They built their understanding of the world, little by little, by observing and remembering. That's how humans have always made sense of things and moved forward. Imagine your mind as a vast empty room. Every time you learn something new, whether it's a math problem, a historical event, or even how to bake a cake, you're adding something important to that room. Maybe it's a new window that lets in a different kind of light, showing you a new view of the world. Or maybe it's a tool, like a hammer or a wrench, that helps you fix things or build something new. The more windows and tools you have, the more possibilities open up. You can see things more clearly, solve more problems, and create more amazing things. It's like learning to code a game, or understanding why your favorite song makes you feel a certain way. These are all tools that help you interact with and understand the world around you, and even yourself. So, when we ask, what's the point of learning things? It's not just about passing a test or getting good grades. It's about building yourself. It's about expanding your own personal universe. Learning helps you connect ideas, understand different people, and see the beauty and complexity in everyday things. It literally changes how you look at the world around you, making it feel deeper and more interesting. It lets you explore the biggest questions, even the ones no one can answer. Because even if we don't find all the perfect answers, the journey of looking for them, armed with what we've learned, makes our lives incredibly rich and full of wonder. It's about becoming more, seeing more, and being more ready for whatever comes next, even the unknown. Asterisk. Does anything matter in the long run? Have you ever looked up at the night sky, at all those countless stars, and felt really small? It's a feeling many people have. This vastness makes us wonder, does anything we do truly matter when time stretches out forever? Our lives are short compared to the universe's billions of years. What's the point? It's a big, tough question. People have asked this for thousands of years. Ancient thinkers, before distant galaxies were known, wondered how short human life is compared to mountains or oceans. They asked if our joys and worries just vanish like dust. Some believed nothing matters since everything ends, but others felt life's shortness makes every moment incredibly precious. Think about a single drop of rain falling into a huge lake. Does it matter? On its own it seems tiny. But that drop is part of the rain that fills the lake and helps life grow. It's connected. Your life, your choices, might feel like that single drop in the grand scale of the universe. But here's the thing. You are part of everything. Your actions create ripples. A kind word, helping someone, a new idea. These might feel small today, but they can inspire others or lead to unexpected paths, shaping the world around you. So, does anything matter in the long run? Maybe the question isn't about if our actions last forever. Instead, it's about how they feel and change us and others right now. It's about finding meaning in the short time we have, not just thinking about millions of years from now. This question can help us appreciate the present. It reminds us to cherish connections and the good we do, even if only for today. And that's why it matters. Asterisk. Why do good people suffer? Have you ever seen someone truly kind, someone who always tries to do what's right, go through something really tough? Maybe they got sick, or lost something important, or just had a string of bad luck. And you think, that's not fair. They don't deserve that. This feeling, this quiet ache of injustice, is something humans have grappled with for thousands of years. It's a question that echoes through old stories, ancient philosophies, and even in our own daily thoughts. Here's the thing. There isn't a simple, easy answer to why good people suffer. It's one of those big, deep mysteries that no one can fully explain. Many thinkers throughout history have tried. Some have suggested it's a test of faith or character, or a lesson we need to learn. But what about a small, innocent child, or an animal that knows no wrong? Their suffering challenges those ideas, doesn't it? Think about it like this. Imagine a forest. A strong old oak tree stands tall, providing shade for animals and cleaning the air. It's a truly good tree, a vital part of its environment. But then, a massive storm rolls in, and a lightning bolt strikes that very oak, splitting its trunk. The storm doesn't care if the tree is good or bad. It just happens. In the same way, life often throws difficult challenges our way. And these challenges don't pick and choose based on how good or bad we are. They can happen to anyone. This question reminds us that the world isn't always fair or orderly in a way we can understand. Sometimes, things just happen. But here's what this deep question can teach us. When we see good people suffer, it can stir something powerful inside us. It can make us want to be even kinder, to reach out and help, to offer comfort. We might not be able to stop suffering from happening, but we can choose how we respond to it, turning our confusion into compassion and support for each other. Asterisk. Can we ever be truly happy? What does it truly mean to be happy? Is it possible to feel that deep, buzzing joy all the time, or even most of the time? For centuries, thinkers have wrestled with this very idea. Some ancient thinkers, like Epicurus, thought happiness was about simple pleasures and a peaceful mind. Others, like Aristotle, believed it came from living a good, purposeful life. But here's the thing. That intense feeling of joy often doesn't last forever. It's like a super bright light that eventually dims a little. Think about getting something you've wanted for a long time, maybe a new game or tickets to a concert. For a while, you're incredibly excited, right? You feel on top of the world, but after a few days or weeks, that initial rush tends to fade. The game becomes just another game. The concert memory is great, but the feeling isn't the same as the moment itself. This is something our brains naturally do. It's called hedonic adaptation. Basically, we get used to good things quickly, and then our usual level of happiness resets, we adapt. So here's what I found. Maybe true happiness isn't a permanent state, like a finish line you cross. Maybe it's more like a journey, or a collection of moments. It could be about appreciating the little joys, finding meaning in everyday things, and being okay with life's natural ups and downs. The idea isn't to chase a constant high, but to find peace in the changing flow. Perhaps real happiness is learning to appreciate the light and shadow, understanding that life is a mix of both, and finding comfort in that balance. Asterisk. What is happiness? Actually, it's a question we all ask, even if we don't say it out loud. We often think of happiness as big smiles and endless joy. But here's the thing, it's rarely just one huge, constant feeling. Instead, it might be more like a quiet sense of peace, a feeling of being okay, or a deep contentment when things just feel right. It's not about being cheerful every second, but about finding meaning, even in the everyday moments. Thinkers for thousands of years have wondered about this. The ancient Greeks, like a philosopher named Aristotle, didn't see happiness as just a mood. For them, it was about living a good life, a full life, where you used your strengths and treated others well. They called it eudaimonia, which means human flourishing. It wasn't just a feeling that came and went, but a purposeful way of living your entire life. It's a bit like building a strong, cozy house. You don't just put one giant, perfect wall up and call it done. You build it brick by brick, moment by moment. Each brick might be a good conversation with a friend, the calm you feel after learning something new, or helping someone. Or maybe it's like a garden. You plant seeds, care for them, and flowers bloom. Happiness isn't just one big, flashy flower, but the whole garden thriving, even with a few weeds here and there. So, happiness isn't something you catch and keep in a jar. It's more like the sun on your face after a long winter, or the quiet joy of a clear night sky. It's found in pockets of time, in connections with others, and in knowing you're growing. The search for it, and the understanding that it's not always a loud emotion, can bring its own kind of peace. Is love just a feeling, or more? Have you ever really stopped to wonder about love? Is it just that warm, fuzzy feeling you get sometimes, like a sudden burst of joy? Or is there something much deeper going on, something that lasts beyond a moment? Most of us think of love as an emotion, just like happiness or sadness, and it definitely is that, in part. But here's the thing. People have been trying to figure out love for thousands of years, and they often saw it as much more than just a feeling. Ancient Greek thinkers, for instance, had several different words for love. They understood it had many forms and layers. They had philia, which was like deep friendship or loyalty, the bond you share with a best friend, a trusted teacher, or a teammate who always has your back. Then there was eros, meaning passionate, romantic love, full of desire, and agape, which was selfless, unconditional love, like a parent has for a child, or a general caring for all humanity. This shows that even back then, people knew love wasn't just one simple thing. It was a complex, powerful force. Think about it like this. Imagine trying to describe electricity. You can feel the shock, but electricity is also an invisible energy that powers cities and lights up homes. Love can be a bit like that. It starts with a feeling, a spark of connection, but then it grows. It becomes a choice you make, an action you take. It's how you care for someone even when it's hard, or how you stick by your friends no matter what. It's the way your family works together, or how a community helps someone in need. That's not just a feeling, that's commitment, a strong bond. a lasting connection that shapes everything. So, perhaps love isn't just a fleeting emotion that comes and goes quickly. Maybe it's also a powerful, ongoing energy that shapes who we are, how we behave, and how we relate to the world. It's a mystery, a profound force that connects us all, a deep, quiet truth, an understanding that makes it even more amazing to think about. Do animals have feelings like us? When you look into the eyes of a dog or watch a bird soar, have you ever wondered what they truly feel inside? Do they feel happy when they play, sad when a friend leaves, scared when there's a loud noise? For a long time, many people thought animals just acted on instinct, like tiny robots. They believed animals didn't have real thoughts or feelings like humans. Their actions were seen as automatic responses. But here's the thing, as we've learned more about the world, this idea has really started to change. Think about Charles Darwin, who showed us that all life is connected. He suggested that emotions might have evolved, starting simply and becoming more complex over time, even in animals. So, maybe our feelings aren't totally unique to us. Perhaps there's a common thread among all living things. Look at an elephant, for example. When one of their family members dies, other elephants often stay near the body for days, touching it gently with their trunks. They seem to show clear signs of sadness, almost like they're mourning. Or think about your own pet. When you come home, does your dog seem truly excited to see you? Does a cat purr with real contentment? These actions make us wonder if there's much more than just simple instinct at play. Maybe they actually feel joy, or comfort, or loss in ways we can almost understand. We can't ask an animal directly, "How do you feel?" So, we might never know for sure if their inner world is exactly like ours. But thinking about this question truly changes how we see them. It makes us think more deeply about empathy, about how we treat other living things. It makes the world seem a little deeper, a little more mysterious, and wonderfully connected. And that's why it matters. This question makes us consider our place, not just as humans, but as part of a much wider, feeling world. What makes something beautiful? Have you ever looked at a simple seashell, or heard a song and felt a shiver, a moment of pure wonder? Why do we feel that way about some things and not others? Here's the thing, beauty isn't just about what looks perfect or bright. It's often about how something makes us feel. It's a deep connection, a sense of rightness, or sometimes even a touch of mystery. But for thousands of years, people have asked this question. Ancient thinkers, like the Greeks, thought true beauty was found in perfect balance, in things that followed strict mathematical rules. They believed symmetry and order were key. But then, people started to see beauty in other places too. They found it in the wild, messy parts of nature, in powerful storms, or in art that showed strong feelings. So, the idea of beauty changed as people's understanding of the world grew. Think about your favorite song. Maybe it's not the most famous one, but when you hear it, something inside you just clicks. The way the notes fit together, the feeling the singer puts into the words, or even just the memory it brings back, that's what makes it beautiful to you. It's not just the sounds, it's the way it touches your emotions and your mind. So, here's what I found. Beauty might not be something out there waiting to be discovered. Instead, it might be something we create inside ourselves. It's the moment our minds connect with something, a pattern, a feeling, an idea, and decide it matters. It reminds us to look deeper than just the surface, to find the quiet wonder in everyday things, and to trust how we feel. It's a gentle invitation to see the world with a sense of awe. Can silence really be heard? Have you ever truly listened for silence? Not just when loud noises stop, but actual silence. What does it sound like? Most of us think silence is just nothing, the absence of sound. But here's the thing, our world is rarely truly silent. Even when quiet, faint sounds are still there. So, can silence actually make a sound? In a way, yes. When you cut out all the usual noise, other things become clearer. It's like turning off a bright light to see stars. The stars were always there, but light made them hard to see. Silence can make new sounds visible, not real sounds, but feelings or thoughts you couldn't hear before. Throughout history, many wise people looked for silence. Monks, thinkers, writers, they often went to very quiet places to simply be. They believed deep truths could only be heard when the world went quiet. They understood silence wasn't empty. It was full of different kinds of signals. It was a space for reflection, where their inner voice could finally be heard above the world's noise. Think about special rooms, called anechoic chambers. These rooms absorb almost all sound. When you step inside, it's the closest you can get to perfect silence. People often report hearing things they never hear anywhere else: their own heartbeat, blood flowing in their ears, or the subtle hum of their nervous system. It's not the room making noise. It's your own body's internal sounds becoming clear because nothing else is drowning them out. In that silence, you start hearing yourself. Maybe silence isn't truly heard with our ears, but felt with our minds and bodies. It's a space that lets us connect with our inner world, to notice the small, constant rhythms of our existence. It's a deep quiet that lets you listen to your own thoughts and feelings, just waiting for the world to calm down enough for them to be noticed. Does darkness truly exist, or just no light? Have you ever really thought about darkness? When you're in your room late at night and you switch off the lamp, what fills the space? Is it darkness arriving, or is something simply leaving? For a long time, people actually believed darkness was a thing. They thought it was something you could catch, or that it had its own energy, separate from light, like two opposite forces fighting each other. But here's the thing: science tells us something different. It says darkness isn't a presence at all, it's just the absence of light. Think about it like this: is cold a real thing, or is it just the absence of heat? Is silence a sound itself, or is it just the absence of noise? Imagine you have a flashlight. When you turn it on, light beams out. When you turn it off, the light stops. The darkness you see isn't being made by the flashlight. It's just what happens when there's no light coming from it. It's like painting. If you want a black wall, you use black paint. You're not adding darkness, you're using a color that absorbs all light. Or consider the shadow you cast on a sunny day. The shadow isn't a substance you're making. It's simply the spot where your body blocks the sun's light from reaching the ground. This idea changes how we look at the world. If darkness isn't a thing, but just a lack, what else do we misunderstand? Maybe some of the bad things we experience, like sadness, aren't active forces, but simply the absence of happiness or peace. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? If we want less darkness, we don't fight the dark. We just need to bring more light, and that's a calming thought. It reminds us that often, to fix what feels wrong, we just need to add what's missing, rather than battle what we think is there. If you change, are you still you? Have you ever looked at an old photo of yourself from just a few years ago and felt like you were looking at someone completely different? Or maybe you remember something you were obsessed with, like a specific band or a game, and now you barely think about it. It makes you stop and really wonder if your thoughts, your feelings, your interests, and even your physical body are always shifting. Is the you standing here right now the same you from before? This isn't just a passing thought. It's a big question humans have been curious about for thousands of years. Ancient thinkers, for example, talked about a famous puzzle called the Ship of Theseus. Imagine a legendary ship that sailed for centuries. Over its long life, every single wooden plank, every sail, every part of the ship eventually got old or broken. So, one by one, each piece was carefully replaced with a new one. After many, many years, not a single original piece of the ship remained. Now, here's the fascinating question. Was it still the same legendary ship it started as? Or had it, piece by piece, become an entirely new ship, even if it carried the same name? Now, think about your own amazing body. Scientists tell us that most of the cells in your body are replaced over a few short years. Your skin cells are new constantly. Your blood cells are swapped out, and even the cells in your bones slowly change over time. So, physically, the very stuff you're made of isn't exactly what it was 5 or 10 years ago. And your mind, your ideas grow, your beliefs shift, your favorite things evolve. You learn new facts, you forget old memories, you experience joy, and you feel lost. So, if your body is constantly rebuilding itself, and your mind is always expanding and transforming, what part of you remains truly unchanged? Maybe the you isn't a fixed, solid thing at all. Perhaps it's more like a river that keeps flowing, always fresh water, but still the same river in its path. Your identity might be the continuous story you are living, a collection of all those evolving experiences. It means that becoming different isn't losing yourself. It's simply a natural part of becoming more of yourself, in a new way, with each passing day. It's a quiet, yet truly powerful journey of constant evolution. What makes a memory real? Have you ever thought about how true your memories actually are? It's a strange question, but a deep one. We all have memories. The first day of school, a special trip, a funny moment with friends. We feel like we remember them perfectly. But here's the thing. Our brains don't record memories like a video camera. They're not exact copies of the past. Instead, every time you remember something, your brain actually rebuilds that memory. It gathers pieces of information from different parts of your mind. And as it rebuilds, little changes can happen. This idea isn't new. Even thousands of years ago, thinkers wondered about this. They asked if what we remember is truly what happened, or just our own changing story of it. They knew our minds are powerful, but also a bit tricky. Think about remembering a big event, like a school play. You remember your lines, the stage, the applause. But if you talk to a friend who was also in the play, they might remember a different moment as the funniest, or a different detail about the costumes. Both memories feel real to each of you. Your brain is not a camera. It's more like a storyteller, taking facts and making them into your own version. So, a memory isn't a fixed picture. It's more like a living story that changes a little each time it's told, even if you're just telling it to yourself. It makes us wonder if the reality of a memory is about how perfectly it matches the past, or if it's real because it lives inside us, shaping who we are right now. Why do we have fear? Have you ever wondered why we feel fear? Why that cold knot in your stomach when you're caught off guard? Or that quickening of your heart when something unknown looms? Here's the thing. Fear isn't just some random, unpleasant feeling. It's actually one of the oldest, most basic parts of being alive. Think way back to early humans, who didn't have houses with locks or cars to speed away in. They lived in a world full of real dangers. Saber-toothed tigers, sudden rock slides, or rival groups. In those times, fear was a friend, not an enemy. It was the alarm bell telling them to run, to hide, or to fight with all their might. It sharpened their senses, made them faster, and helped them survive another day. This ancient wiring is still deep inside us, even though the dangers we face today are usually very different. So when you feel a shiver after hearing a strange noise downstairs, late at night, or when your palms get sweaty before a big presentation at school, that's your ancient alarm system kicking in. It's not a tiger, of course, but your brain is still trying to protect you from something it sees as a threat. Whether it's a potential intruder or the fear of messing up in front of your classmates, that feeling, that jolt, is your body getting ready. It's a message, really. But here's what's interesting. While fear can still warn us of real danger, it also helps us understand ourselves. It shows us what we care about, what we value, and what we want to protect. Facing a fear, even a small one, can teach us a lot about our own strength. It's not about getting rid of fear completely, because that's impossible, and maybe even unwise. It's about learning to listen to it, understand its message, and decide how to act. Fear, in its own way, is a quiet teacher, showing us the edge of our comfort zone and hinting at what lies beyond. It's a part of the deep mystery of what it means to be human. What causes creativity? Where does a truly new idea come from? Is it a sudden flash, or something deeper, more constant? People have long wondered about this mysterious spark we call creativity. It's that special ability to make something new, to imagine what hasn't been seen or done. Ancient thinkers, like the Greeks, believed creativity was a gift from the gods. They thought goddesses called muses whispered ideas. Artists weren't just skilled, but a channel for something divine. This made creativity seem a rare, outside force. But here's the thing. Today, we often look to the human brain. We understand creativity isn't one simple thing. It's different brain parts working together. It's about making new connections between thoughts or ideas that didn't seem related before. Think of solving a tough puzzle. You have all the pieces, but the creative moment is seeing how they fit together. That aha moment. That's a spark of creativity. This ability isn't only for famous artists or inventors. Creativity happens every day. Finding a new route to school, or a smart way to organize your backpack. It's about seeing possibilities. Sometimes, our best ideas appear when we're not even trying, walking, or right before falling asleep. Our minds often keep connecting dots in the background. So, maybe creativity isn't a single cause. Instead, it's a blend of curiosity, everything we know, and a willingness to explore the unknown. It's not just about being a genius, but staying open to wonder, seeing the world with fresh eyes, and daring to imagine something different. It's a quiet, powerful miracle inside all of us. Is the future already set? Have you ever wondered if tomorrow is already decided? Is everything that's going to happen already decided, like a story already written? It's a deep thought, one people have asked for thousands of years. Back in ancient times, some groups believed in fate. They thought your life path was already mapped out, and you couldn't really change it, no matter what you did, like a script you were born to follow. Some thinkers imagined the universe working like a giant, perfect clock. Every tiny part moves in just the right way, making the next moment happen. If that's true, maybe our choices aren't totally free. Maybe they're just part of this huge, unfolding machine. Here's the thing. When you drop a ball, you can predict exactly where it will go, because of gravity and physics. Its path is set. But what about you? When you pick an apple over an orange, did you truly choose it? Or was that decision somehow already lined up in your brain? It makes you pause and think. This isn't about feeling powerless. It's more about being curious. We live feeling like our choices matter. We work hard, we dream, we plan, and the feeling of trying, of hoping, feels very real. So, is the future set? Or are we, in this very moment, shaping it with every small decision? Maybe this mystery makes life more interesting. It lets us look at the world with wonder, always ready for what comes next. It reminds us to be present, to live fully, no matter what path unfolds. Can you change the past? Have you ever wished you could go back, just for a second, maybe to say something different, or do something over? It's a thought we all have sometimes. Here's the thing about the past. It's like a path we've already walked. Each step we take instantly becomes part of that path behind us. We can look back at it, remember it, and even visit the places again. But we can't actually step on that same ground for the first time ever again. Time moves in only one direction, always forward. People have wondered about this forever, for thousands of years. Think about ancient stories or old philosophies. Everyone, from deep thinkers long ago to modern scientists today, pretty much agrees. What happened, happened. It's done. History isn't just a story. It's a fixed record of things that became real and then passed. You can't change that record, no matter how much you might want to. Imagine you take a photograph with your phone. That picture captures one exact moment, frozen forever. You can look at it later, share it with friends, and remember how you felt. But you can't go back into the picture and change what someone was doing, or what the weather was like that day. That moment passed. The light, the expressions, the cloud in the sky, they are all part of that unchangeable past, caught in that frame. So, we can't physically step back in time. We can't erase a mistake we made, or replay a perfect moment from a week ago. But here's what we can do. We can change how we see the past. We can learn from it. A tough moment from yesterday. You can't undo it, but you can understand it better today. You can choose to grow because of it. The past is like the roots of a tree. They hold the tree in place, give it strength. But the tree itself keeps growing up, towards the sun. We're always moving forward, carrying what we learned with us. The true power isn't in changing what was, it's in choosing what will be, based on what has been. It's about building a new path, using the wisdom from the old one. We carry the past inside us, not as a burden, but as a silent teacher guiding our steps into the future. What is infinity like? Have you ever tried to imagine something that just never ends? Something so big it doesn't even have a number. That's kind of what we mean when we talk about infinity. It's not really a number, like 100 or 1,000,000. It's more like an idea, a concept of something boundless. Without limits, people have thought about infinity for thousands of years. Ancient Greek thinkers wondered if space went on forever, or if there was a final edge. Even in different religions and stories, there's this idea of something eternal, something that always was and always will be. They wrestled with the idea that something could just keep going, without ever stopping. Here's the thing. Trying to picture infinity is really hard for our brains. Our minds are built to think in terms of limits and edges. We can count our fingers, or the stars we see on a clear night. But try to count all the grains of sand on all the beaches in the world, and then imagine even more than that, always. Or think about the numbers themselves. You can always add one more, right? There's no biggest number. That always one more feeling, that's a hint of infinity. So, what is infinity like? Maybe it's not a place or a thing you can visit. Maybe it's more like a feeling, a deep sense of wonder about how vast everything is. It makes us realize how small we are, but also how big our thoughts can be. It's a reminder that there's always more to learn, more to explore, more to imagine, far beyond what we can easily grasp. And that's okay. Sometimes, the most profound questions are the ones that simply open our minds, rather than giving us a neat answer. Is there such a thing as absolute truth? Think about it. Is there anything that is true for everyone, everywhere, at all times, no matter what anyone thinks or feels? This is a question people have been asking for thousands of years, from ancient Greek philosophers like Plato, who believed in a perfect world of ideas beyond our senses, to modern scientists exploring the laws of the universe. The search for unchanging truth has always been important. Here's the thing, when we talk about absolute truth, we mean something that just is. It doesn't depend on your opinion, your culture, or even what year it is. For example, is it absolutely true that 2 + 2 = 4? Most would say yes. That's a mathematical truth that holds up whether you're in New York or on the moon. Or consider gravity. A ball thrown up will always come down. These seem like solid, undeniable facts. But then, what about things that are harder to pin down? Is a certain painting absolutely beautiful? Is a specific type of music absolutely good? Here, our personal feelings and experiences come into play. What one person finds beautiful, another might not. So, is beauty an absolute truth? Or is it something we create in our minds? This brings us to a quiet question. If some truths seem universal, like the laws of physics, and others seem personal, like our taste in art, where do we draw the line? Some believe that true absolute truths exist, guiding everything, even if we can only glimpse them. Others think that most of what we call truth is built by humans, shaped by our understanding and our language, and that's why it matters. The idea of absolute truth invites us to look closer at what we believe, and why. It makes us wonder if there's a deeper reality waiting to be understood, a quiet foundation beneath all the noise of our daily lives. Maybe the greatest truth is simply that we keep searching. What is reality, really? Have you ever stopped to wonder if what you see and feel is the whole truth? Truly the whole truth? This question, what is reality, really, is one of those huge ideas people have thought about for thousands of years. It's about understanding how we know anything is real at all. Our brains take in information from our senses, what we see, hear, touch, taste, and smell. Then, they build a picture of the world around us. But here's the thing. What if that picture isn't exactly what's truly out there? Think about it like this. A long time ago, Plato told a story. He imagined people who lived their whole lives, chained in a deep cave. They could only see shadows flickering on a wall, cast by a fire. They believed those shadows were real objects, because it was all they knew. They didn't guess there was a vibrant world of actual things outside the cave, casting those shadows. This story makes us wonder, could our own world be a bit like those shadows on a wall? Here's an example from your own life. Have you ever had a really vivid dream? When you're in it, everything feels totally real, right? Your heart races. You feel emotions. You might think you're awake. But then you wake up, and you realize it was all just in your head. That dream world felt real for a moment, but it wasn't. Or, think about an optical illusion you might see. Your eyes see one thing, like lines that seem to move, but then you learn it's just a trick of how your brain interprets light. It shows that what our senses tell us isn't always the complete story. Our brains actively create what we experience. So, the next time you look around, remember that what you experience as real is carefully put together by your own mind. It's a powerful creation inside you. And that thought leads us to wonder, if our personal reality is built like this, what is the true reality beyond our senses? It's a question that can make the everyday world feel a little more mysterious and amazing, reminding us there's always more to understand. Are we just brains in a jar? Have you ever wondered what's really happening when you look out at the world? Like, are your eyes truly seeing a tree, or is your brain just getting signals that tell it there's a tree? Here's the thing. Some deep thinkers, way back in history, started asking if our mind, our true self, is separate from our body. They wondered if everything we experience, everything we touch, see, hear, and feel, is just information fed to our brain. This isn't about being in a science fiction movie, but a serious question about how we know anything at all. Imagine you're playing an amazing virtual reality game. You put on a headset, and suddenly you're in a different world. You might feel like you're flying, or running through a forest, even though your body is just sitting in a chair. All those sensations, like the wind on your face in the game, are just electrical signals sent to your brain from the headset. Your brain interprets them as real. So, this idea of a brain in a jar asks, what if our entire life is like that? What if our brain is just receiving signals, and the outside world is a super advanced, lifelong simulation? It's a big thought, and it makes you wonder. We might never truly know if what we experience is the real reality, or just a really good show for our minds. But here's what matters. The feelings are real to us, the connections we make are real, and the moments we share feel genuine. Even if we're just brains interpreting signals, our experience of life, the joy, the sadness, the curiosity, that's what makes us, well, us. It reminds us to pay attention to these moments, because they are our reality. Does a tree make a sound if no one hears it? Imagine a giant tree falling deep in a forest, with no one around. Did it truly make a sound? It's more than a riddle. It makes us think about what sound is. Is it just air moving? Or does it need ears and a brain to become what we hear as a sound? For centuries, smart thinkers asked this. They wondered if things exist only because we sense them. Like, does a color exist if no one sees it? Or a smell if no one smells it? Some thinkers, like George Berkeley, believed things only exist when someone perceives them. He said, to be is to be perceived. So, if no one is there to hear the tree, then for us, there's no sound. Here's the thing. When a tree falls, it definitely creates air pressure waves. Science can measure these waves. Animals, like deer, might hear them. So, the physical event happens. But the sound we hear that crashes something our brain creates. Our ears pick up vibrations, and our brain turns them into the experience of sound. It's like how your eyes pick up light, and your brain turns it into the colors you see. Think about humming a tune in your head. Is it sound? Not in the air. It's a thought, a vibration inside your own mind. So, the tree falling causes vibrations, but the experience of sound, the one you feel, needs a listener. This shows us how much our world is shaped by our senses and minds. Our own awareness helps make the world real for us. The universe has many events, but our minds give them meaning. We turn simple vibrations into true sounds and light into colors. Why do we need to sleep? Have you ever really thought about sleep? We spend a big part of our lives doing it, eyes closed, unaware. But what exactly happens when we drift off? It's much more than just resting. Sleep is a deep, quiet journey. Our bodies and minds take every single day. We simply can't do without it. Here's the thing. While we sleep, our bodies don't stop. They get to work. Imagine your brain as a giant library. All day, new books, memories, and ideas come in. If you didn't sort them, put them on the right shelves, the library would be a mess. Sleep does that for your brain. It helps file away memories, making sense of what you learned. It also cleans out waste that builds up when you're awake. This helps you think clearly and remember better the next day. People have always wondered about sleep. For thousands of years, humans faced this mystery, needing to shut down, to be vulnerable for hours. Ancient thinkers saw sleep as a small kind of death, or a trip to another world. It was strange, but totally necessary. We still don't fully understand all of sleep's secrets, even with modern science. Think about your body as a factory. During the day, it's building things, running machines. At night, the factory switches to repair mode. Workers fix machines, restock parts, and clean up. Sleep does that for your body. It repairs muscles, recharges energy, and boosts your immune system. So why sleep? It's not just to avoid feeling tired. It's a deep essential rhythm of life. It's when we connect with something fundamental inside us. This quiet work keeps us whole. It's a necessary pause, a reminder we are part of a natural world. Sometimes, the most important work happens when we are simply still. It's a shared mystery, a hidden strength. What happens in our dreams? Have you ever woken up from a dream, and it felt so real, but then you realized none of it actually happened? Where do our minds go when we sleep? This is one of the biggest mysteries of being human, and it's something people have wondered about for thousands of years. We know that when we dream, our brain is super active, even though our body is resting. It's like a movie playing in your head, but you're the star, the director, and the audience all at once. For a long time, ancient cultures believed dreams were messages. Some thought they came from gods or from ancestors. Others saw them as signs about the future. Later, some thinkers, like philosophers and early psychologists, started to believe dreams were a way for our brains to sort through our thoughts and feelings, even the ones we didn't know we had. They thought dreams might reveal hidden wishes or worries. Here's the thing, your brain is always working, even when you're asleep. Think of your brain like a busy librarian. All day long, it's collecting new books, information, and putting them on shelves, memories. But when you sleep, the librarian isn't just organizing. Sometimes, they pull out random books and combine them into a weird story. So, if you're worried about a big test, your dream might be about trying to find your classroom, but suddenly it's underwater, or your teacher is a talking squirrel. It's your brain making sense of things, or just being creative in its own unique way. So, dreams are a private journey into our own minds. They show us how creative and strange our inner world can be, and how our brains keep processing things, even when we're completely still. They remind us that there's so much to understand about ourselves, and that even in sleep, our minds are exploring, asking questions, and creating new worlds. Can dreams predict the future? Have you ever woken up from a dream and felt like you just saw something that was going to happen? It's a strange feeling, like getting a secret message from tomorrow. Dreams are basically stories our brains make up when we're asleep. They can feel so real, so vivid, and sometimes people wonder if these stories are actually glimpses into what's coming next. For thousands of years, people all over the world have thought dreams could show the future. Ancient Egyptians wrote down their dreams, thinking they were messages from the gods about what would happen. Some old cultures even had special dream interpreters who tried to figure out what each dream meant for the future. Even big thinkers like Aristotle, a philosopher from ancient Greece, explored the idea. He mostly concluded that dreams reflect our bodies and minds, not the future, but the question stuck around. It's a really old idea, this link between our sleep world and what might happen next. Here's the thing, most of the time, dreams don't predict the future. Think about it like this. If you have a big sports game coming up, you might dream about making the winning shot or messing up. That dream isn't showing you what will happen. It's your brain playing out your hopes or your worries. It's like when you're building something in a video game and you try out different ideas, your brain does that with your thoughts and feelings. So, if you dream about a friend you haven't seen in ages, and then you bump into them the next day, it might just be a coincidence. Or maybe your brain saw something small that reminded you of them earlier, and that thought popped up in your dream. So, can dreams truly tell us what tomorrow holds? Most scientists say no. They see dreams as our brain working through our day, our memories, and our feelings. They're like a messy, creative playground for your mind, helping you sort things out. But even if dreams don't show tomorrow's headlines, they tell us something important about today. They show us what's on our minds, what we care about, or even what scares us. They remind us that our inner world is deep and full of mysteries. Whether or not it holds secrets of what's to come, it's a quiet wonder how our minds work, even in sleep. Do numbers go on forever? Have you ever just kept counting? 1, 2, 3, and kept going? It feels like you could count forever, right? This idea that numbers never stop is called infinity. It's not just a really big number. It's bigger than any number you can even imagine. People have thought about this for thousands of years. Ancient Greek thinkers, for example, puzzled over it. How can anything just keep going on without end? They saw this idea in time, in space, and in numbers. Think about this. Imagine you're at a beach. You try to count every grain of sand. You count billions, trillions. But even if you counted every grain on every beach in the world, you'd still never reach the last one. You could always add one more, or think of the stars in the sky. You see so many, but there are always more, far beyond what we can see. Numbers are like that. They aren't physical things you can touch. They are concepts, just ideas in our minds. And as ideas, we can always imagine adding one more. There's no final number, no ultimate end. So, what does this mean? It means the world of numbers is truly endless. It's a vast, open space of possibility. And here's the thing, we can use it, build amazing things with it, but we can never reach its end. It's a quiet reminder that some things are simply beyond our full grasp. They just are. And that's a pretty deep idea to think about, isn't it? It makes you feel small, but also part of something truly infinite. Is there a smallest thing? Have you ever looked at something maybe a grain of sand, or a speck of dust, and wondered, how much smaller can it get? We can see that sand grain. We know it's made of even tinier things. But does this process of breaking things down ever truly stop? Is there a piece so small, so fundamental, that it can't be divided anymore? This isn't a new question. Thousands of years ago, people like the ancient Greek philosopher Democritus wondered the same thing. He believed everything was made of tiny, unbreakable pieces he called atomos, meaning He thought if you kept cutting an apple in half, eventually you'd reach a piece so small you couldn't cut it anymore. That would be the smallest thing. For a long time, we thought atoms were those tiny, uncuttable pieces. But then, scientists found even smaller things inside atoms: electrons, protons, and neutrons. And then they found that protons and neutrons are made of even smaller particles called quarks. It's like zooming in on a picture on your phone. You see the whole image, then you zoom in and see individual pixels. Then maybe, in some future technology, you could zoom into a single pixel and see even smaller parts that make it up. Our view of reality keeps getting clearer, showing us more layers. So, here's the thing. We keep discovering smaller and smaller particles, but does it ever end? Is there a final, ultimate building block of everything? Or does the universe go on, getting smaller and smaller forever, like a never-ending zoom? This question reminds us that even when we think we understand the basic parts of the world, there might always be more to learn, deeper mysteries waiting just beyond our reach. It makes you wonder about the very nature of existence. What is nothingness? Have you ever really tried to picture nothing? Not just an empty room or a silent space, but absolutely nothing. It's harder than it sounds. Usually, when we say nothing, we mean not much or empty, but true nothingness. That's a deep puzzle. Imagine a space without light, sound, air, or even dust. No thoughts, no time, no dimensions. It's not just dark, it's the absence of darkness. Not just quiet, the absence of sound. Our brains, used to things, struggle to grasp it. Thinkers for thousands of years have argued about this. Some ancient Greek philosophers, like Parmenides, said nothingness couldn't exist. Their idea: if you can talk or even think about it, then it's something, right? So, if it exists enough to be thought of, it's not truly nothing. It makes you pause. How do you describe something that, by its nature, isn't there? Take outer space. We call it a vacuum, close to nothing. But even the vast emptiness between stars isn't truly nothing. It has tiny bits of gas, faint light, invisible energy. Even the emptiest places we know still have something. It's like deleting a file on your computer. The file is gone, but the space is still there, ready for new info. True nothingness would mean no space, no readiness, no anything. So, maybe nothingness isn't a place we can visit or fully imagine. Maybe it's just the opposite of everything we know. It reminds us our world is full of something, full of existence. Maybe that's why we struggle to grasp its opposite. It's a reminder of the incredible wonder of everything that is. Why do we feel lonely sometimes? Have you ever been surrounded by people, even friends or family, and still felt a strange, quiet ache inside? Like you weren't quite connected, or were somehow standing apart? That feeling, that deep sense of isolation, is loneliness. And here's the thing. It's not just about being physically by yourself. You can be in a huge, noisy crowd and still feel it. It's more about a feeling of disconnection. Thinkers have wondered about this for a long time. Ancient thinkers, like those in old Greece, talked about how humans are naturally social creatures. They believed we're built to live in groups, to share our lives. So, when we feel lonely, it can be a signal, almost like hunger or thirst, telling us something important. It's a sign that our need for connection, for understanding from others, isn't being met. Think about it like this. Imagine you're playing a team sport, like soccer. Everyone is on the field, passing the ball, working together. But sometimes, you might feel like you're not really part of the play, even if you're right there. Maybe you're not getting the ball, or you feel like your ideas aren't heard. That feeling of being on the team, but not connected to the team, that's similar to loneliness. You're present, but the shared experience isn't fully there for you. So, when loneliness whispers to us, it's not always a bad sign. Instead, it might be a quiet reminder from our deepest selves. It's a soft echo, telling us to look closer at our connections, to seek out moments where we truly feel seen, heard, and understood. It's a call for that missing piece of belonging, And sometimes, just understanding that feeling, giving it a name, can make it a little less heavy. What makes us feel connected? Have you ever wondered why some moments just click? Why you feel a sudden closeness to someone you barely know, or a deep sense of belonging to a group? It's a strange and powerful feeling. This idea of connection, it's more than just being in the same room. It's about feeling truly seen, like your experiences and feelings are understood and shared by others. For thousands of years, humans have lived in groups, relying on each other. Our ancestors needed teamwork to hunt, to gather food, and to stay safe from dangers. They shared stories around campfires, and those shared moments built strong bonds. Even back then, feeling connected wasn't just about survival. It was also about finding comfort and meaning in the world. Many wise thinkers throughout history, people who thought deeply about life, have talked about how important belonging is. They believed it's a basic human need, as essential as food or water. Here's the thing, connection isn't always about big events. Think about when you're watching a movie with your friends, and everyone laughs at the exact same joke. Or maybe you spot someone wearing a t-shirt for your favorite band, and you feel that little spark of recognition, that common ground. It's like an invisible thread that pulls you closer, even if just for a moment. In science, you could compare it to how atoms link up to form molecules, creating something new. Our connections work in a similar way, building something stronger than we are alone. Psychologists, who study the mind, know this social bonding is super important for our happiness. So, what makes us feel truly connected? Maybe it's empathy, seeing a little bit of yourself in someone else's joy or sadness. Maybe it's the quiet understanding that comes from shared experiences, or the simple, profound joy of not being alone in your thoughts. It's a feeling that reminds us we are all part of something much bigger, a vast web of human experience. And that, in itself, is a kind of beautiful mystery. Can a machine ever truly think? Have you ever looked at a super smart computer and wondered if it's truly thinking? Not just doing calculations fast, but actually understanding, having feelings, or even having a mind of its own. This isn't a new question. For a long time, people have asked if machines could ever really be like us, with thoughts and feelings. A computer is amazing at following rules. It can play chess better than any human, or answer almost any question you throw at it instantly. But here's the thing. Does it know what it's doing? Does it feel anything? Back in the 1950s, a brilliant scientist named Alan Turing came up with an idea. He called it the Turing test. The idea was simple. If you talked to a computer through text and couldn't tell it was a machine, then maybe it was truly thinking. Think about a self-driving car you might see today. It can steer, stop, and avoid obstacles perfectly. It can even learn new routes. But does it actually understand the joy of a long road trip, or the quiet frustration of traffic? No, it's just following incredibly complex programs and sensors. It's built to react based on data, not to feel or truly comprehend. It processes information, but it doesn't daydream about its next journey. So, while machines can do incredible things that look a lot like thinking, there's still this big, deep question. Is what they do just really clever programming? Or is there something more to thinking? Something that involves consciousness, that inner feeling of being aware and alive? We don't have all the answers. Maybe true thought needs more than just wires and code. This makes us wonder about our own minds and what it truly means to have deep thoughts and feelings. What if everything you knew was wrong? Have you ever had that strange feeling, just for a second, that something you were completely sure about might not be true? We learn so much growing up. We get facts from parents, teachers, books, and the world. We build our understanding, brick by brick. But what if one of those big, trusted bricks suddenly wasn't solid? This isn't about a small mistake, like forgetting an answer. This is about core beliefs, things you thought were absolute facts. For a very long time, most people believed the sun went around the earth. It seemed so obvious. The sun appeared to travel across the sky every day. But then, scientists like Copernicus and Galileo, through careful looking, showed us the earth actually goes around the sun. That idea was hard for many to accept. It flipped how they understood their place in the universe. Think about a simpler example from your own life. Maybe you were playing a new game. You felt super confident about a certain rule. No, you have to do it this way, you'd say, absolutely sure. Then someone shows you the actual rule book, or a hidden setting you missed. Suddenly, you realize your fact was totally wrong. It's a small moment, but that feeling can be a little surprising. This idea isn't meant to make you worried. Instead, it's a powerful thought. It reminds us our understanding is always growing. We should stay curious and keep our minds open. Big discoveries often happen because someone was brave enough to question what everyone else just knew was true. It teaches us to be humble about what we think we know. Learning is a journey that never truly ends. It's about exploring, asking questions, and being ready to let go of old ideas for new, deeper ones. Is there a purpose to pain? Have you ever stopped to really think about pain? Not just the sting of a scraped knee or a headache, but why we even feel it at all. It seems like something we'd all want to avoid, right? But here's the thing. Pain, in many ways, is a powerful signal. It's like an alarm bell ringing inside your body, telling you something is wrong, or that you need to be careful. Think about it this way. If you accidentally touch a hot stove, that immediate sharp pain makes you snatch your hand back. That pain, as awful as it feels, just saved you from a much worse burn. Or if you twist your ankle playing soccer, the ache tells you to stop running, to rest it, so it can heal. Without that warning, you might keep going and cause serious, lasting damage. People have wondered about this for a long time. Even ancient thinkers saw pain as more than just a bad feeling. They sometimes saw it as a teacher. It pushes us to learn and to change. It teaches us about limits and dangers. And that's why it matters. It's not just about physical hurt, either. Emotional pain, like the sadness after losing a game or a disagreement with a friend, can also push us to think differently, to try harder, or to understand others better. So, while pain is certainly uncomfortable, maybe it's not always a punishment. Perhaps it's a guide. It helps us protect ourselves, understand our bodies, and even grow as people. It reminds us that our experiences, even the tough ones, are part of the journey. It asks us to pause, to listen, and to learn from what hurts. Why do we smile when we're happy? It's one of those things we do without even thinking, right? When something genuinely good happens, or you feel that warm, comfortable feeling bubbling up inside, your face just seems to light up. But have you ever really stopped to wonder why? Why is a smile the universal sign for happiness? Why not a wiggle of your nose, or a little jump, or a certain clap? Here's the thing. Smiling is incredibly old. Long, long ago, before humans had complex languages, we needed ways to communicate. Charles Darwin, that famous scientist who studied how life changes over time, thought a lot about human expressions. He suggested that basic expressions, like smiling, are universal for a reason. They aren't just something we learn from our parents. They're almost built into us, part of our shared human design. It's like an ancient, unspoken language that everyone understands, no matter where they live or what language they speak. Think about it. A baby, long before it can even whisper a word, smiles in response to a parent's face or a gentle touch. It's an automatic signal. This simple act, this pulling up of the corners of our mouth, actually sends a very powerful signal. It tells others around us, hey, I'm feeling good. I'm not a threat. We're okay here. For our ancestors, this was crucial for building trust and staying safe in groups. In our daily lives, it still works that way. Imagine you're walking into a new class or a new place, and someone you don't know smiles at you. Instantly, that moment feels a little less scary, a little more welcoming, doesn't it? It's like a tiny, silent message of warmth and connection. And it's wonderfully contagious, too. Seeing someone smile can often make you want to smile back, almost without realizing it. Our brains have special pathways that pick up on these signals, making us feel connected. So a smile is much more than just a happy face. It's a powerful, ancient signal that bridges gaps between people. It's a way our bodies speak about our deepest, most positive feelings, sharing joy without needing a single sound. It connects us to others across cultures and time, reminding us that some feelings are truly understood by everyone, everywhere. And that, in itself, is a pretty profound and comforting thought, isn't it? It's a simple, everyday miracle. What is imagination, really? Have you ever stopped to wonder what imagination actually is? It feels like this amazing, limitless space inside our heads. We use it all the time, from dreaming up new games to picturing how a story ends. But what is it, really? Is it just making things up? Or something much deeper? Here's the thing. For a long time, thinkers and philosophers have been curious about imagination. Some saw it as a special kind of seeing without our eyes. It's not just remembering what was, but creating what could be. It's the ability to form pictures, ideas, and sensations in our minds, even when they're not real or present right now. Think about it like this. When an architect plans a building, they don't just see bricks and steel. They imagine the spaces, how light will fall, how people will move through it. They build it in their mind first. Imagination lets us play with possibilities. It's what allows a scientist to picture an unseen atom, or a musician to hear a melody before it's ever played. It's not just for artists, though. Every time you try to guess what someone else is thinking, or plan your next move in a game, you're using your imagination. It helps us understand the world, and even predict what might happen. Say you're trying to pick out an outfit for school tomorrow. You don't actually put on 20 different things. Instead, you imagine how each shirt looks with each pair of pants. You're seeing it in your mind. So, imagination isn't just about fantasy. It's a powerful tool. It's how we connect with things that aren't right in front of us. It helps us feel empathy for others by picturing their experiences. It allows us to dream up new inventions and solve old problems. Maybe it's the very spark that makes us uniquely human. This quiet, powerful ability to build worlds, both real and imagined, within ourselves. It's a reminder that there's always more to see than just what our eyes show us. Can we ever truly understand another person? Have you ever truly wondered what's going on inside someone else's head? Like what they're really thinking or really feeling, beyond what they tell you? This is a deep question people have wondered about for thousands of years. Ancient thinkers questioned if we can ever fully step into someone else's mind. They thought each person's mind was its own unique world, impossible to fully enter. Here's the thing. Each of us holds a completely private inner world. It's a space filled with our memories, secret feelings, and quiet thoughts. We share parts of it, of course, through talking and being together. But so much of it stays hidden, like a secret garden only you can walk through. It's shaped by everything you've ever experienced. No one else has that exact same history or sees things the same way. Consider this example. Imagine you and a friend are watching the same powerful movie scene. You might feel a rush of sadness, even tear up. Your friend, on the other hand, might just think it's okay, or not feel much at all. You both saw the same images and heard the same sounds, but your brains processed it differently based on your own past. This shows why it's hard to fully know another person inside. Understanding someone completely is kind of like trying to see the entire universe from another star. You can learn a lot, but you'll never truly be them, inside their own mind. So, while it might be impossible to fully know another person inside, trying to understand them, listening deeply, and showing kindness, that's what truly matters. It's how we build real connections. It helps us learn about different ways of seeing the world, and it reminds us that even with all our differences, we are connected by our shared human journey. It's in these efforts that we find real meaning. Why do we make choices? Think about your day so far. You woke up. Maybe you picked what to wear. You decided what to eat for breakfast. Or maybe you chose to hit snooze. Every single moment, it feels like we're making tiny decisions, one after another. But why? Why don't things just happen to us? Why do we have this power to choose? For a long time, people have wondered about this. Ancient thinkers asked if we truly control our paths, or if everything is already set, like a script written before we were born. Some believed fate, or destiny, guided everything. They thought our lives were just playing out a plan, but others felt strongly that we have free will. That's the idea that we are truly in charge of our own actions. It's a deep question, isn't it? Are we truly free choosers, or are our choices just part of a bigger puzzle? Here's the thing. Even simple choices are complex. Imagine you're choosing an apple or an orange from a fruit bowl. It seems simple, right? But your brain is actually doing a lot of work. You might think about what tastes better, what's healthier, or what you just feel like eating. Sometimes, past experiences shape these choices. If you had a bad orange last week, you might lean towards the apple. Psychologists might say our choices come from a mix of what we want, what we know, and even our habits. Our brains are always trying to predict the best outcome based on everything we've learned. It's like our own personal supercomputer, always calculating. So, why do we make choices? Maybe it's a mix of things. Our desire for freedom, the way our brains work, and the countless small moments that lead us to one path over another. It's part of what makes us human. Each choice, big or small, adds a brushstroke to the painting of our lives. It means we get to be active players in our own stories. It means our actions matter. The act of choosing is a fundamental part of existing, and that's a pretty amazing thought, don't you think? Is there a meaning to life's challenges? Have you ever stopped to wonder why tough times happen? Why do we face things that feel unfair, or moments that just seem incredibly hard? This isn't a new question. People have been asking it for thousands of years. Thinkers from ancient Greece, for instance, often spoke about how facing struggles could actually make you a stronger, more complete person. They believed that just like a muscle grows when it's pushed and worked, our minds and spirits can also grow when we deal with difficulties. So, here's the thing. Sometimes, what feels like a big problem or a painful moment isn't just that. It can also be a hidden path to something important. Think about a time you tried to learn a new skill, maybe riding a bicycle, or solving a really tricky puzzle in a video game. At first, you probably fell a lot, or made mistakes over and over. That was a challenge, right? It might have felt frustrating, but with each fall, with each wrong move, you learned something. You figured out what not to do. You practiced, you got better, and slowly, what was once super hard became easier. The struggle itself wasn't pointless. It was a necessary part of how you improved. It showed you where you needed to adjust and grow. In a way, life's bigger challenges can be a lot like that. They push us, sometimes painfully, to discover strengths we didn't even know we had inside us. Maybe you learn to be more patient when things don't go your way, or more creative in finding new solutions. Perhaps you discover who your true friends are, or just how much inner resilience you possess. It's not always about finding one clear reason for every single bad thing that happens, like this exact thing happened so I could learn X. But more often, it's about what we choose to do with the challenge after it happens. We can let it defeat us, or we can use it as a kind of fuel to build something new within ourselves, something more resilient. So, perhaps the true meaning isn't given to us by the challenge itself, but it's something we create through how we respond, finding our own quiet strength and understanding in the process. We learn to bend, not break. What if the universe is a simulation? Ever wonder if everything around you, right now, isn't quite real? Like what if your entire life, the trees, the sky, even your own thoughts, are just part of a really advanced computer program? This is the core idea behind the simulation hypothesis. It suggests that our entire universe might not be physical at all, but rather a digital creation, like a super realistic video game being played by someone else. It sounds wild, right? But people have thought about this for a very long time. Ancient philosophers, like Plato, talked about the idea of shadows on a cave wall, where what we see isn't the real thing, just a copy. More recently, scientists and thinkers wonder if an incredibly advanced civilization could create a simulation so perfect that the beings inside wouldn't even know they were in one. Think about how much better video games have gotten, just in your lifetime. Back in the 80s, games were simple, pixels and blocky characters. Now, they look almost perfectly real, with detailed worlds and complex stories. So, here's the thing. What if, in the far future, technology gets so good that creating an entire world with people who think they're real becomes totally possible for someone outside? Here's an example to help you picture it clearly. Imagine you're playing a really detailed video game on a powerful computer. You control a character, and you move through a vast, virtual world. You collect things, talk to other characters, and make choices that feel important. From your character's point of view, that world is absolutely real. They don't know they're just lines of code running on a computer in a different reality. And that's the thought. If we are in a simulation, we'd never know, because our entire reality, our senses, our understanding of physics, our very consciousness would be built within that very program. So, if this deep idea were true, would it change anything in your daily life? Not really, at least not in an obvious way. The sun would still shine, your friends would still be your friends, and school would still be school. But it does make you pause and think. It makes you wonder about the true nature of reality itself, and what it truly means to exist within it. It's a thought that stretches your mind, reminding us that there's always more to question, more to wonder about, beyond what we can easily see or touch with our own hands. It's a quiet curiosity about the deepest mysteries. Can we create something from nothing? Have you ever truly wondered about this? Can something appear out of absolute nowhere? This question has puzzled thinkers for thousands of years. When we talk about nothing, we mean pure, total absence. No matter, no energy, no space, not even time itself. Just nothing. Ancient philosophers had a saying, "From nothing, nothing comes." This felt like plain common sense. If you have nothing, how can you suddenly have something? Even when we think about the Big Bang, which started our universe, scientists say it began from something incredibly tiny and dense. It wasn't pure nothing. It was still something, even if we don't completely understand what. Think about an artist staring at a blank canvas. They might feel like they're creating a world, but they use paint, brushes, and their own thoughts. These are all things that already exist. The painter isn't making paint molecules appear. They're changing existing materials, giving them new shape and meaning. Or, when you get a brilliant new idea for a story, it feels like it just popped into your head. But your brain uses all the experiences and images you've collected. Those aren't nothing. They are the building blocks you use. This question makes us wonder about existence itself. Is there always something, even when we can't sense it? Perhaps nothing is a concept our human minds struggle to fully grasp. It makes us think that maybe everything has always, in some form, been here. And that means true creation from pure nothingness might be one of those deep mysteries we can only ponder. It's a quiet thought, isn't it? That everything we are, everything we see, might just be a rearrangement of what was always here. What is the sound of one hand clapping? Have you ever wondered about questions that don't have a clear answer? Or maybe, no answer at all? Consider this ancient puzzle. What is the sound of one hand clapping? You might think, well, one hand can't clap. You need to. But that's the whole idea. This question isn't really asking about a sound you can hear. It's asking you to look beyond what's obvious. It makes your mind stretch. It asks you to think about things that don't fit into simple boxes. It challenges your normal way of thinking. This famous question comes from Zen Buddhism. That's a way of thinking that started long ago in Asia. Zen teachers used these kinds of puzzles, called koans. They used them to help students think in new ways, to break free from everyday logic. They weren't looking for a right answer, like in a math test. Instead, they wanted students to have a moment of sudden understanding, a new way of seeing the world, one that goes beyond just words. The koan pushes you to stop using your regular brain and try to feel or sense the answer instead. It's about changing how you see things. Think about being totally quiet. Maybe you're walking alone in the woods, or sitting in your room late at night. You might not hear much, but you can also feel everything. Your own heartbeat, the deep quiet, how your thoughts seem to echo. Is that silence truly nothing? Or is it a kind of quiet space, a place where other ideas can form? The sound of one hand clapping is like that deep quiet. It's about what happens when you take away one part of something that usually needs to. It's not about hearing a real sound. It's about what you experience when you try to find it. It teaches you to look for meaning in places you usually wouldn't expect. So, this question isn't about finding a literal noise. It's about opening your mind to things you can't easily explain, or even see. It asks you to pause, to consider the quiet spaces in life. It makes you think about how some deep truths might not be found in clear answers. Instead, they might be in the questions that make us think the hardest. It's about realizing that sometimes, the most important insights come not by searching for a specific answer. They come by simply letting yourself wonder. Does free will mean we're responsible for everything? If we have free will, if we truly choose our paths, does that mean we're totally responsible for everything that happens? It's a huge question people have thought about for ages. On one hand, it feels right to say we're in charge of our actions. We decide what to eat, what to say, how to act. And so, if something goes wrong because of our choice, we often feel we should take the blame. But philosophers for thousands of years have wrestled with this idea. Think about ancient Greek thinkers, or even people today. They wonder, what about things we can't control, like where we're born, or the family we have, or the talents we're given? Or what about things that just happen, like a sudden storm messing up your day, or someone else's choices impacting you in a big way? Here's the thing, our lives aren't just a blank canvas where we paint everything. There are already lines and colors there before we even pick up a brush. Imagine, you're trying to build a tall tower with building blocks. You choose which blocks to use and where to place them. That's like your free will. But what if the floor suddenly shakes because of an earthquake you didn't cause? Or what if some of the blocks were already broken or the wrong shape when you got them? You didn't choose those things. So, while you're responsible for how you place your chosen blocks, you're not responsible for the earthquake or for the broken blocks you didn't know about. Here's the thing. Most deep thinkers suggest responsibility is more complex than just everything is my fault. We are certainly responsible for our conscious choices, for how we react, and for the effort we put in. But that doesn't mean we are responsible for every single outcome. Sometimes, life just happens. Sometimes, outside forces play a part that's out of our hands. This way of thinking helps us understand ourselves better. It also helps us be a little kinder to ourselves and others when things don't go as planned. It's about figuring out what's truly within our control and what isn't, which is a truly deep thought. What makes a decision right or wrong? Have you ever paused before making a choice, wondering if it was truly the right thing to do, or maybe if it was the wrong thing? This isn't an easy question, and it's one humans have wrestled with for thousands of years. What makes something good or bad, fair or unfair? It often feels like a blurry line, not a clear one. Thinkers long ago, even before recorded history for some, tried to figure this out. Some believed that certain actions are just always right or always wrong, no matter what. They might say, don't lie, ever, or always keep your promises. For them, there were universal rules, like basic laws of the universe, that we should all follow. It didn't matter what happened after. The action itself was what counted. But then, many others disagreed. They argued that the rightness of a decision depends on its outcome. If your choice leads to more happiness for more people, or less suffering for a lot of folks, then it's good. So, for these thinkers, the result is what really matters, not just the action itself. Let's think about a simple, everyday situation. Imagine you see a friend cheating on a big test. Is it right to tell the teacher? If you tell, your friend might get into serious trouble, which causes them real pain and stress. But if you don't, it feels unfair to everyone else who studied hard for the test, and it might make cheating seem okay, letting others think it's fine. Here, following a rule like honesty is always best, or report cheating, bumps right up against the outcome of causing your friend harm. It's a tough spot. This shows us that deciding what's right isn't always about following a clear rule or just looking at results. It's also about our own feelings, our values, and how we want to treat others. Each decision, big or small, asks us to think deeply about what truly matters. It's a chance to consider what kind of person we want to be and what kind of world we want to help create. There isn't one magic answer that fits every situation, but exploring this question helps us understand ourselves and our place in the world a little better. It's a lifelong journey of learning and growing. Is goodness an instinct or learned? Do you ever wonder why some people just seem naturally kind while others struggle with it? This question has puzzled people for ages. It's about whether goodness is something we're born with, like the urge to eat, or if it's something we learn, like tying our shoes. Think about a baby. They don't know right from wrong yet. But if another baby cries, sometimes they might cry too, or even try to comfort them in their own small way. Does that mean goodness is built into us, a part of our basic human wiring? Ancient thinkers wondered if humans were simply meant to be good. They thought maybe it was our natural way, like a tree is meant to grow leaves. But then, think about how much we learn from our families and schools. Our parents teach us to share, to say please, and to respect others. Teachers show us how to be fair and work together. If you see someone drop their books in the hallway, your first thought might be to help them pick them up. Is that an instinct? Or is it because you've seen others do it, or been told it's the right thing to do? Maybe it's both. Maybe we have a tiny seed of kindness, and our experiences and education help that seed grow into a strong, giving tree. The truth is, there's no single easy answer. Perhaps our ability to be good starts as a tiny spark we're born with, and it's fanned into a flame by the lessons we learn and the choices we make every day. It makes you wonder, doesn't it, about the choices you make, and what they teach you about yourself. Why do we seek justice? Have you ever seen something happen that just felt unfair? Maybe a friend was wrongly accused, or someone got away with something they shouldn't have. That knot in your stomach, that desire for things to be set right, that's a glimpse into why we seek justice. It's a deep, powerful human feeling, a need for balance in the world. Justice isn't just about punishment. It's about fairness, about making things right after they've gone wrong. Think of it like this. If you break a window, fixing it or paying for it helps restore balance. If someone is harmed, justice aims to acknowledge that harm and try to make the situation as whole as possible again. For thousands of years, people have wrestled with this idea. Ancient thinkers and societies understood that if there was no way to fix wrongs, if bullies always won and good deeds were never rewarded, then people couldn't trust each other. Life would be chaotic. So, they created rules and systems, early forms of law, to try and bring order and fairness. They recognized that without some form of justice, a community would struggle to survive. Imagine you're playing a team sport, and an opposing player cheats, but the referee doesn't see it. Your team loses because of it. There's a part of you that cries out, "That's not fair." You want the rules to matter. You want the cheater to be held accountable, not just for the game, but because it feels like a basic agreement between players was broken. That feeling, that push for things to be fair, is a simple version of the search for justice. Perhaps then, our search for justice isn't just about making others pay. Maybe it's a profound longing for connection, a way to say, we value each other, we believe in what's right, and we want to build a world where everyone can feel safe, respected, and treated fairly. It's a quiet hope that, even when things are broken, they can be mended, and balance can return. What defines being alive? Have you ever really stopped to think about what it means to be alive? It sounds simple, but it's a very deep question. We often think of being alive as breathing or having a heartbeat, but what about a plant? It breathes differently, and it doesn't have a heart. Yet, it grows, changes, and reacts to sunlight and water. It finds ways to get what it needs, and so it's clearly alive. For thousands of years, people have wondered about this. Ancient thinkers, long before modern science, saw the clear difference between a stone and a bird. A stone just sits there. A bird moves, eats, builds nests, and sings. They thought some inner spark gave living things the power to move, grow, and feel. They called it different names, but it was about what made something more than dead matter. This idea of an active, changing force has stayed with us. Here's the thing. Think about a new action figure. It might look like a person, maybe even talk or move when you push a button, but you know it's not truly alive. It doesn't get hungry, learn from mistakes, or surprise you. Now think about your pet, a dog or a cat. It reacts to your voice, learns tricks, and has a unique personality. It gets excited to see you, or sad when you leave. It grows, changes, and remembers things. That's the difference, right? Being alive involves more than just existing. It's about reacting, learning, feeling, and changing on your own. It's about more than physical movement. It's about having a unique experience and journey. Think about how sunlight feels on your skin, or the taste of your favorite food. It's remembering a funny moment with a friend, or feeling strong emotions. Maybe being alive is about this constant journey of experiencing, growing, adapting, and becoming something new every day. It's a profound mystery we're all part of, a living, breathing question. Could we live forever? And would we want to? Imagine a life that never ends. No goodbyes, no fading away, just forever. Sounds amazing, right? Or does it? For thousands of years, people have dreamed of living forever. They searched for magic, potions, special fountains, or ways to transfer their minds. Think about stories of vampires or ancient gods who live on and on. In science, we're studying our bodies, looking at how cells age. Some scientists wonder if we could stop that process. It's about beating death, keeping our bodies and minds going for hundreds, maybe thousands, of years. Here's the thing. Think about watching your favorite TV show. When it's really good, you wish it would never end. But imagine if it literally never ended. No final episode, no conclusion. After many seasons, would it still feel special? Would the characters still grow? Would you even remember what happened in season 1? Maybe the story would lose its meaning, just becoming a long, unchanging stream of moments. So, if we could live forever, what would happen to the things that give life meaning? Would birthdays still feel special if you had 1,000 of them? Would learning new things still be exciting if you had all eternity to do it? Sometimes, the fact that things end makes them precious. The changing seasons, a graduating class, even the final pages of a good book. These endings create new beginnings that make us appreciate what we have right now. Maybe knowing our time is limited helps us truly live, pushing us to experience, to love, to connect, before our own unique story reaches its natural close. It makes us think about what we do with the time we do have, rather than how much time we could have. Is knowledge ever complete? Have you ever wondered if there's a point where we just know everything there is to know about something? Could a person ever truly say, I understand everything about the ocean, or I know all there is about the universe? It's a big question, and the simple answer seems to be, probably not. Here's the thing. For centuries, people have wrestled with this idea. Think about ancient Greek thinkers. Socrates, a famous one, once said, true wisdom was knowing how much you don't know. The more he learned, the more he saw how much was still unknown. Centuries later, even brilliant scientists like Isaac Newton, who figured out gravity, still felt like children playing on a seashore. A vast ocean of truth lay before him, he said, still undiscovered. It's a bit like exploring the universe. We've sent probes, built powerful telescopes, and learned so much about distant stars. We know far more now than 100 years ago, but every new discovery often brings more questions. We find black holes, then wonder what's inside them. We see light from the edge of the known universe, then ask what's beyond. The boundary of what we know keeps expanding, and so does what we don't know. So, is knowledge ever complete? It seems less like a finished puzzle and more like an endless journey. It's not about reaching an end, but about enjoying the continuous process of asking, exploring, and discovering. And that's a pretty cool thought. It means there will always be something new to learn, something new to be curious about. This keeps the world exciting and our minds open to wonder. What is faith, really? Have you ever wondered what it truly means to have faith? It's a word we hear a lot, but what is it, deep down? Is it just believing in something you can't see, or is there more to it? Here's the thing. Faith isn't always about religion, though it often connects there. Think of it as a deep trust, a confidence in something, even when you don't have all the proof right in front of you. For thousands of years, people have looked up at the stars and wondered about what happens next. They didn't always have scientific answers. So, ancient thinkers, like those in old Greece or China, found ways to make sense of the world. They created stories, philosophies, and spiritual beliefs. They put their faith in things like nature's patterns or the wisdom of elders. This wasn't about blind obedience. It was a way to find meaning, build communities, and keep hope alive when things were tough. Here's a simple way to think about it. Imagine you're at a crosswalk. You press the button, the walk signal lights up, and you step into the street. You have faith cars will stop. You don't know every single driver will obey the light, but you trust the system. Or, in science, think about gravity. You can't see gravity itself, but you have faith it exists because of how everything behaves. You drop a pencil, it falls. This trust in a system, a concept, or another person, without needing full proof, is a form of faith. So, faith is not just a belief, it's often an action, a decision to trust something bigger than what you can physically touch or perfectly prove. It's a quiet confidence that helps us navigate the unknown, to build relationships, and to keep going even when we're not sure what's next. It's a very human way of leaning into uncertainty. Why do we believe in things we can't see? Asterisk, asterisk, why do we believe in things we can't see? Asterisk, asterisk, have you ever stopped to think about all the things you believe in, even though you can't actually see them with your eyes? It's a strange idea, isn't it? We live in a world full of things we can touch and feel, but so much of what guides us, what we trust, what we hope for, is invisible. Here's the thing. Humans have always done this. For a long time, people tried to understand the world. Around them, they saw storms, felt wind, watched plants grow, but had no science to explain it all. So, they imagined invisible forces, like spirits or gods, controlling things. They believed these ideas made sense of a confusing world. These beliefs gave life meaning, connecting them to something bigger. But it's not just about ancient times. Think about gravity. You can't see gravity, right? You can't grab it, but you believe in it. You know if you drop your pencil, it falls. We see gravity's effects every day, so we trust it's there, even though it's an unseen force. It's a scientific idea we accept. We don't see it, but its impacts are clear. It's similar with trust or friendship. You can't see trust. You can't see friendship, but you feel them. You believe in them because of how they make you feel and how people act. You understand their power in your life, even without seeing them. So, why do we do this? Maybe our minds are built to find meaning, connecting the dots even when some are invisible. It's how we build relationships, understand science, and find hope. Believing in what we can't see is a basic part of being human. It's how we explore the universe's mysteries and our own minds, reaching beyond what's right in front of us. It shapes our world in ways we often don't even realize. Does time move faster sometimes? Have you ever felt like a really fun day just flies by, and then a boring afternoon seems to drag on forever? We often say, time flies when you're having fun, but does time actually speed up or slow down? The clock on the wall keeps ticking at the exact same steady pace. A second is always a second. What truly changes is how we feel that second. It's our brain, our mind, making time feel different. People have thought about this for thousands of years. Ancient thinkers, and even later philosophers like a guy named Augustine, wondered if time was even real outside of our own minds. They saw how our feelings shaped our experience of time. Here's the thing, when you're playing your favorite video game, or when you're totally wrapped up in a great book, hours can vanish. You're so focused, so engaged, that your brain isn't really counting the minutes. Each moment feels new and exciting, and your attention is completely caught. But here's the problem. Sitting through a long, dull lecture, or waiting for something you dread, every minute feels like 5. Your mind is bored, maybe even looking for distractions, and so it pays much more attention to the passing of each tiny moment. This is why those moments feel so stretched out. Our brains are wired this way. When we're experiencing new things, or when we're deeply focused and happy, our brains process information differently. It's like your mind is so busy enjoying the moment, it doesn't bother to keep a strict mental stopwatch. So, time itself doesn't change its speed. It's always moving forward, steady and constant, like a river flowing. But our journey through it, how we perceive it, that's deeply tied to what we're doing and how we feel. This can help you understand that our experience of life isn't just about the clock. It's about how we fill those moments, whether we truly notice them or simply let them flow by without much thought. Every moment has the same length, but not the same weight in our hearts and minds, and that's why it matters. Can we travel through time? Have you ever wished you could zoom into the past, maybe to see dinosaurs, or jump forward to see what the future holds? It's a question that has fascinated humans for centuries. We dream about it, write stories about it, and watch movies where characters hop through different eras. But here's the thing, can we really do it? The idea of time travel is usually about moving from one point in time to another, much like we move from one place to another. Scientists and thinkers have spent a long time considering this. Ancient people wondered if time itself was real, or just something we made up. Later, Albert Einstein showed us that time isn't just a steady, unchanging river. It's more like a flexible road, or a fabric that can bend. His ideas suggest that time can actually slow down, or speed up depending on how fast you're moving, or how strong gravity is around you. This effect is called time dilation. Think of it like this. Imagine you and a friend are playing a video game. You're both playing at the same time, but if you were on a super-fast spaceship moving near the speed of light, and your friend stayed on Earth, time would actually pass differently for each of you. When you came back, your friend might be much older than you are, even though you both started at the same age. It's like their game clock ran faster than yours. We see tiny versions of this in real life, with satellites orbiting Earth. Their clocks run a tiny bit faster than clocks on the ground, and we adjust for it to make GPS work. So, while going back in time to change history, or leaping far into a distant future, seems impossible with our current understanding, the idea of time itself being flexible is a real part of our universe. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Perhaps we are always, in a way, traveling through time, moving forward, moment by moment, towards whatever comes next. It reminds us that time is a precious and mysterious thing, always moving, always new. What if parallel universes are real? Have you ever wondered about the path not taken? Like what if you'd picked pizza instead of a burger for lunch? Here's a really deep thought. What if every single choice, every tiny event, actually creates a whole new universe? That's the core idea behind parallel universes. It means that at every moment, reality might be splitting, like a river branching into many streams. In one stream, you picked the pizza. In another, separate stream, you picked the burger. Both happened, just not in the reality you're experiencing right now. This isn't just a wild idea from movies. Ancient thinkers wondered about different ways things could be. And today, some very smart scientists in physics actually consider it, especially with how strange quantum mechanics can be. It's a big concept that makes you think about how vast reality is. Think about something simple, like a coin flip. You toss a coin high in the air. As it spins, it could land on heads or tails. In our universe, let's say it lands on heads. But what if, in that exact same moment, a new universe branched off where that same coin landed on tails? So, in one universe, you won. In another, you lost. This means countless versions of you exist, living out different lives based on every choice. It's a mind-bending idea, isn't it? It makes you pause and think about the sheer number of possibilities out there. If this were true, it wouldn't mean our choices here don't matter. It might actually make this specific path, this universe we are in, feel even more special, because this is our reality, the one we're living now. It reminds us to be present, to appreciate this unique journey we're on, even with all those unseen possibilities. Are there other versions of us out there? Have you ever thought about all the small choices you make every day? Like, what if you picked a different shirt this morning, or turned right instead of left on your way to school? It seems small, but what if each of those choices created a whole new path? This idea is something people have wondered about for a long time. For centuries, thinkers and storytellers have asked, what if there isn't just this reality? What if, for every path not taken, another version of you is walking that path in a totally different world? It's like being at a fork in the road. You go left, but in another world, another, you chose right. Suddenly, your lives are completely different. Imagine you're choosing between two ice cream flavors, chocolate or vanilla. You pick chocolate, but in another reality, another you picks vanilla. That other you might have a slightly different day because of that choice. Maybe they meet someone new in line. Now, imagine that happening with every choice, big or small. What if a different you tried out for the school play, and another you stayed home? One version of you might be performing on stage right now, while another is just chilling on the couch. So, here's the thing. We don't know if these other versions of us truly exist, but just thinking about it can be pretty amazing. It makes you realize how many different possibilities there are for life, and it makes you think about how special and unique your own journey is. This one, right here, the choices you make, the things you learn, the person you become, it's all part of your story in this reality. And that's a pretty incredible thought, isn't it? What is true courage? We often think of courage as being fearless, right? Like a hero in a movie, never showing a hint of fear. But here's the thing, maybe that's not quite it. True courage isn't about not feeling afraid at all. It's about feeling scared, maybe really, truly scared, and still deciding to do what you believe is right. It's about facing that fear head-on, instead of running from it. Think about the ancient Greek thinkers, like the philosopher Aristotle. He didn't just see courage as a soldier charging into battle, though that was part of it. For him, it was also about standing firm in your beliefs, even when those beliefs are unpopular or challenging. It was about having the inner strength to tell the truth, even if it might bring trouble or discomfort. So, it's not just about physical bravery, it's also a deep inner strength, a kind of mental and emotional backbone that helps us endure. Here's an example you might recognize. Imagine you see someone being picked on at school. Your stomach might twist, and you might feel a rush of fear about getting involved. You might worry about what others will think of you, or if you'll become a target yourself. But if you decide to step in, to say something, or even just to stand next to the person being targeted, that's courage. It's not about being a superhero, but about acting despite your fear. Or think about trying something totally new, like joining a club where you don't know anyone, or trying out for a sport you're not very good at yet. There's often a fear of looking silly or failing, right? But pushing past that uncomfortable feeling, showing up, and giving it your best shot, that's definitely courage too. It's about being willing to be vulnerable. So, true courage might not always be a huge, dramatic moment that everyone sees. Often, it's found in those quiet, everyday choices we make. It's about being honest with yourself, accepting your fears as real, and still choosing to move forward, one small step at a time. It's about living with integrity, even when it feels hard. And that's why it matters, because it helps us to truly be ourselves and grow, even when the world challenges us. Why do we feel guilt? Have you ever felt that heavy, twisting feeling in your chest after saying something mean, or when you forgot to do something important you promised? That feeling is guilt. It's not just sadness or anger. It's a very specific kind of unease. Guilt whispers to us when we think we've crossed a line. It tells us we might have gone against our own inner sense of what's right. Or maybe we've hurt someone else, even by accident. Think of it like an alarm inside your head. It goes off when you do something that doesn't quite match your own rules for being a good person. Every single one of us has these internal rules, whether we realize it or not. For a long time, people have wondered about this feeling. Ancient thinkers, centuries ago, saw guilt as something deeply human. They believed it was connected to our conscience, that quiet part of us that knows the difference between right and wrong. It's like our built-in moral compass, helping us navigate the world. Imagine you accidentally spilled water on a friend's favorite book. You know you should tell them, but you don't. That nagging feeling, that's guilt. It's like your internal compass spinning, telling you your actions aren't quite honest. And here's something to think about. Guilt isn't just about big mistakes. It can be small, like not sharing your snacks. This feeling tells us we've fallen short of our own standards, or what we believe others expect. But here's a different way to look at it. Guilt, while uncomfortable, isn't always a bad thing. This can help you understand it better. It's a powerful teacher. It pushes us to think about what we did and how we can do better next time. It reminds us of our responsibilities to others and to ourselves. When we feel guilty, it often means we care. It shows we have empathy. It means we know that our actions have consequences, and we want to be good people. So, the next time that feeling washes over you, pause. It's not just punishment. It's a quiet signal, guiding you toward becoming the person you want to be. It's a profound part of what makes us human. Can we ever fully forgive? Have you ever wondered if true forgiveness is even possible? Maybe someone said something really mean, or perhaps you made a big mistake yourself. We often hear the phrase forgive and forget, but is it truly that simple? To do, forgiveness, at its heart, isn't about forgetting what happened or pretending it was okay. Instead, it's about choosing to release the strong negative feelings like anger, bitterness, or a desire for revenge that can hold you captive. It's letting go of the need for the other person to pay for what they did. This act isn't just for them. It's really for you. It's about freeing yourself from the heavy weight of carrying that hurt around. People have thought about this for thousands of years, across different cultures and beliefs. Ancient Roman thinkers, like Seneca, explored how holding on to anger hurts the person who is angry much more than the person they are angry at. Many old stories and teachings, from various religions and philosophies around the world, talk about forgiveness as a powerful path to inner peace. It's seen as a way to heal and move forward, without being constantly dragged back by old wounds. But here's the problem. What if the pain runs incredibly deep? What if the same person keeps doing the same hurtful things? Is forgiveness still possible then, or even fair? Think about it like this. Imagine you have a very heavy backpack. Every time someone does something that deeply bothers you, and you decide to hold on to that anger, it's like adding another rock into your backpack. At first, it's just a small pebble. But as time goes on, if you don't find a way to deal with that hurt, your backpack becomes heavier and heavier. It makes walking difficult, makes you tired, and slows you down. Forgiveness, in this way, is like making a conscious choice to take some of those rocks out. You still remember they were there, sure, but you no longer have to carry their full weight, day in and day out. It lightens your load and allows you to keep moving. So, the real question isn't whether we can erase the past, because we probably can't. The question is whether we can truly change how that past hurt affects our present and future. It's often a long process, not a quick fix, and that's why it matters. Learning to let go, even little by little, can help us find a deeper sense of calm and inner peace. It's a personal journey, and it reminds us that while some questions have clear answers, others, like this one, are explored throughout a lifetime. What is the nature of change? Have you ever stopped to think about how nothing truly stays the same? From the moment you wake up, things shift. The clouds in the sky move. Your feelings change throughout the day. Even you aren't the same person you were yesterday or last year. This constant movement, this becoming different, is what we call change. But what is it, really? Is it just things happening, or is there something deeper? People have wondered about this for thousands of years. There was an ancient Greek thinker named Heraclitus. He had a famous idea: you can't step in the same river twice. Think about that for a second. The water you stepped into is already gone. New water flows by. The river looks the same, but it's always new water. And you, stepping in, are a little bit different too. Heraclitus believed everything in the universe is like that river, always flowing, always changing. Nothing is truly fixed. Here's an easy way to think about it. Remember being much younger, maybe in elementary school. You looked different, you thought about different things. Your favorite toys or games were probably different. That's natural. Change happening inside you. Your body grows. Your brain learns new things. Your ideas about the world shift. It's like a plant, starting as a tiny seed, then a sprout, then a tall tree. It's still the same plant, in a way, but it's always transforming. So, the nature of change isn't just about things ending or beginning. It's a never-ending process. It's about everything always in motion, always becoming new. And that's why it matters. It reminds us life is always moving forward. It's a quiet truth that brings a sense of wonder. It helps us see that adapting and growing is a part of being human, a part of everything. It's the silent rhythm of the universe. Does anything truly stay the same? Have you ever stopped to really think about it? About how everything around us, and even inside us, seems to be in a constant dance of change? It's a big question, and one people have wondered about for thousands of years. Think about a river. You might see the same river every day, flowing past the same rocks. But here's the thing. Is it really the same river? The water you saw yesterday has moved downstream, replaced by new water. The rocks might look the same, but wind and rain slowly chip away at them. Ancient Greek thinkers like Heraclitus noticed this. He famously said something like, you can't step into the same river twice. He meant that everything is always moving, always becoming something new, even if we don't always see it happening. It was his way of saying that change isn't just something that happens sometimes. It's the very nature of life itself. This idea isn't just for rivers or ancient philosophers. It's true for you too. Your body, for example, is always changing. Every 7 to 10 years, almost all the cells in your body have been replaced. The skin you have today is not the exact same skin you had a month ago. Your thoughts change, your feelings shift, and what you believe might be different next year than it is today. Even something that feels solid, like a mountain, is slowly eroding, piece by piece, over countless years. So, maybe the world isn't about things staying perfectly still, or exactly the same. Maybe it's more about a constant, quiet flow, and that's why it matters. Accepting this flow can help us see the beauty in every passing moment, and understand that our own journeys are also full of tiny shifts that make us who we are. It's a gentle reminder that life is a journey, not a fixed picture. What is the meaning of a memory? Have you ever stopped to really think about what a memory actually is? It's more than just a picture stored away in your mind. It's not like a video file you play back perfectly. Instead, a memory is something we create, and often recreate, every time we remember it. For a long time, people have wondered about this. Ancient Greek thinkers, like Aristotle, saw memories as impressions. Imagine your mind as a soft piece of wax. When something important happens, it leaves a kind of stamp or mark on that wax. But here's the thing, that mark isn't set in stone. Later, philosophers looked at memory as what makes us who we are. It's how we know we are the same person from yesterday to today. So, when you remember your first day of middle school, you might recall the sounds, the smells, the feeling of nervousness or excitement. You can almost feel it again. But think about it. Is that memory exactly how it happened? Psychologists tell us our brains don't just record things like a camera. Instead, we build a memory, and each time we call it up, we might rebuild it slightly differently. Maybe we add a detail, or let go of another. This is why a memory can feel so real and clear, but also change a little over time, like a story you keep telling yourself. So, a memory isn't just an old event. It's a living thing inside us. It connects us to our past. It gives us a sense of who we are right now. And that's why it matters. It's a part of our story, always being told, always shaping what comes next. Why do some things feel familiar? Have you ever walked into a new place, like a store or a school you've never visited, and felt a strange tug, as if you'd been there before? Or heard a new song, but the melody just clicked, like it was already deep inside you? This odd, sometimes unsettling feeling is something people have wondered about for a very long time. Here's the thing. Our brains are incredible. They're always trying to make sense of the world, connecting new information to old. Sometimes, a tiny glitch happens. A small detail, like the way light hits a corner, or a specific smell, might trigger a memory fragment. Your brain then creates this feeling of "I know this," even if the event itself never actually happened. It's like your mind recognizes a pattern, even if the picture is new. Thinkers from ancient Greece, like the philosopher Plato, wondered about this. He believed that perhaps some of what we learn isn't truly new. Instead, it's more like we are remembering things our soul already knew from a time before we were born. It's a deep idea that some connections are just part of us from the start. For example, imagine learning about constellations. You see a picture of the Big Dipper for the first time, but something about its shape, its star arrangement, feels instantly recognizable. Not because you've seen that specific picture, but because the pattern resonates with a deeper, perhaps built-in, way your mind organizes shapes. So, why do these things feel familiar? Maybe it's our memory playing tricks, a split-second delay in our brain's processing. Or maybe it's a whisper from something much older, a connection to a shared human experience. It's a reminder that our inner world, how we experience reality, is full of mysteries. It makes us wonder about our own minds. Is instinct more powerful than logic? Have you ever wondered what truly guides us? Is it the careful thoughts we piece together, or a deeper, quicker knowing inside? Here's the thing. People have debated this question for a very long time. Across many cultures and histories, it's one of those big ideas that makes you stop and think. Instinct is like an old, deep program running in our bodies. It's that gut feeling, that sudden urge, or the way you react without even thinking. Think of it as a super-fast alarm system that kept our ancestors safe. If a cave person saw a shadow move quickly in the bushes, their instinct would be to freeze, or run, instantly. There's no time to sit down and logically figure out if it's a friendly squirrel or a dangerous animal. Your body just knows to react. Logic, on the other hand, is slower. It's the part of us that analyzes, compares, and plans. Logic asks questions. What happened? Why did it happen? What should I do next? It's what you use when you're solving a math problem, planning a trip, or trying to understand a complicated idea. It's like a careful detective, looking for clues and making connections. So, here's an example. Imagine you're walking home, and suddenly a small dog darts out from behind a bush, barking loudly. Your first reaction might be to jump back, or your heart might pound a little. That's your instinct, kicking in instantly to a sudden, loud sound and movement. You didn't decide to feel scared or jump, it just happened. Then, your logic catches up. You see it's just a playful puppy, and you realize there's no real danger. Your brain then tells your body to calm down. Sometimes, our instincts tell us one thing, and our logic tells us another. Maybe your gut tells you not to trust someone, even if everything they say seems to make sense. Or maybe logic says to study for a test, but instinct makes you want to play a video game instead. The power often lies not in which one is more powerful, but how they work together inside us. Our oldest reactions, our gut feelings, often start the conversation. Then, our thinking mind steps in to understand, to weigh things, and to choose a path forward. It's a continuous dance between the two, helping us navigate the world. What does it mean to be human? What does it truly mean to be human? Is it just our bodies, or something deeper inside us, something that makes us uniquely us? This isn't a new question. People have wondered about it for thousands of years. Long ago, thinkers like the ancient Greeks tried to figure it out. They believed what made us special was our power to reason, to think deeply, and to make our own choices, rather than just acting on instinct. And that's a big part of it. We can imagine things that don't exist yet. We can plan for the future, and we can learn from our past experiences. But here's the thing. It's not just about thinking. It's also very much about feeling. We feel a wide range of emotions: sadness, joy, anger, and love. We also feel empathy, which is that ability to understand and even share what someone else is going through. For example, when your friend is feeling down, and you feel that concern and want to help them, that connection, that ability to care, is deeply human. Our creativity also sets us apart. We write songs, paint pictures, and build incredible structures. Psychology, the study of the mind, helps us understand why we feel and act the way we do. So, what does it truly mean to be human? Perhaps it means we are always growing, always questioning the world and our place in it. It means we have the power to choose kindness, to learn from mistakes, and to try to make the world a little bit better. It's about being curious, feeling deeply, and finding ways to connect with others. In this shared human journey, why do we build things? Have you ever stopped to really think about why humans build? We're always putting things together, aren't we? From the smallest stack of stones to the tallest skyscrapers, creating is something we just do, almost without thinking. Here's the thing. Building isn't just about making something new with our hands. It's deeply connected to our minds and our need to understand the world. We build to solve a problem, sure, or to make life better, but also to express an idea or a feeling that's inside us. Think about our earliest ancestors. Thousands of years ago, they didn't just find shelter. They learned to make shelters. They stacked rocks into walls, or wove branches together into huts. This wasn't only practical, it was a powerful way to create safety, to draw a circle around their lives and say, "This is ours. We made this space our own." It was about bringing a little order and predictability to a wild, uncertain world, and that's why it matters. We build things to make sense of our place in the world, and to give it meaning. Like when you build a fort in your backyard with blankets and chairs, it's more than just a pile of stuff, right? Inside that fort, for a little while, you've created your own small world, a space that feels just for you. It's a place where you feel safe, where your imagination can run free. That feeling, that deep human need to shape our environment, to create a space that feels right, has been inside us forever. So, whether we're building a road that connects distant towns, writing a story that builds a new world of characters, or simply arranging our room to make it feel more like us, we're doing more than just physical work. We're reaching out to the world. We're trying to leave a mark, to express something about ourselves, or to connect with others across time. Perhaps we build because it helps us answer, in our own small way, the huge question of why we are here at all. It's a quiet way of saying, "I was here, and I made something that mattered." What is the point of art? Have you ever stopped to wonder why we create art at all? Why do people spend hours painting, or writing songs, or telling stories? It's not just about making things look nice, or sound good. The truth is, art runs much deeper than that. It's a fundamental part of being human. Think about it this way. Art is a language without words. It's how we try to make sense of the world around us, and the big, messy feelings inside us. When we can't find the right words, art can step in. It lets us express joy, sadness, confusion, hope, or even just a question that has no easy answer. Humans have been doing this forever. Imagine people thousands of years ago, drawing on cave walls. They weren't just decorating, they were trying to record their lives, to share important moments, to understand their fears or their connection to the world. And they were trying to pass these feelings and ideas on. So, art has always been this bridge, connecting us to each other and to those who came before us. It's like a conversation that spans across time, one where feelings and thoughts are shared. Here's a simple way to think about it. When you're feeling a really strong emotion, maybe super happy or very frustrated, sometimes it's hard to just say it out loud, but maybe you pick up a pen and doodle, or you listen to a specific song that just gets how you feel. That act of creating or connecting with art helps. It lets that feeling out, or it helps you feel understood. It's a way to process what's happening in your head and heart. So, maybe the point of art isn't about finding a single perfect answer. Instead, it's about the journey. It helps us explore those huge unspoken questions about life, about who we are, and about our place in the universe. Art lets us pause and truly feel. It reminds us that we are all part of a shared human experience, full of wonder and mystery. And sometimes, it simply helps us to see the world a little more clearly, and feel a little less alone. Does music have a universal language? Does a sad song from a faraway land make you feel a little sad too, even if you don't understand the words? It's a deep thought, isn't it? Music touches something inside us, beyond language. It makes you wonder. People often ask if music is a universal language. Can music speak to everyone, no matter where they're from? It's not about lyrics, but the sounds themselves, melodies, rhythms, how instruments blend. A fast beat makes you want to dance. A slow tune feels peaceful. These feelings seem to cross borders, connecting us all for thousands of years. Humans have made music. Ancient cultures, completely separate, found ways to express themselves through sound. Drums, bone flutes, their voices. This wasn't learned from others. It seems part of being human. People who think deeply about life believe music connects us to something bigger, something we all share. It's like an ancient code, understood by our souls. Here's how it works. Think about a baby. Before they understand words, they react to music. A lullaby calms them. A sudden loud noise makes them jump. They respond to tone and rhythm. It's like understanding a smile or a frown. No matter what country someone is from, these are basic human expressions. Music often works the same way, tapping into our shared emotional wiring. So, while music changes from culture to culture, instruments, styles, the feelings it creates might be more similar than we think. Music doesn't tell a story in words, but it tells a story of emotion, a story that resonates within us all. It reminds us that even with differences, there's a common thread through human experience. Sometimes, that thread is woven with sound, a quiet, powerful thought. Why do we laugh? Have you ever stopped to wonder why we make that sound? That burst of air, that joyful shake, when something strikes us as funny. It's not just a noise. It's one of the most puzzling and wonderful things humans do. Here's the thing. People have tried to figure it out for thousands of years, and honestly, no one has the full answer. Ancient Greek thinkers talked about laughter. Some thought it was a way to show we felt better than others, especially when someone made a mistake. Others believed it was a kind of relief, like when a tense moment suddenly breaks. Think about it. When you're nervous, and then something silly happens, sometimes a laugh just spills out. It's a way for your body and mind to let go of stress. This might work for you. Imagine you're watching a scary movie with friends. Everyone is tense. Then, suddenly, something incredibly silly or unexpected happens, like the monster tripping. A wave of nervous laughter might ripple through the room. It's not because the monster is actually funny. It's because the sudden shift from fear to absurdity releases that built-up tension. Or, consider an inside joke. You all laugh at something no one else gets. That laugh isn't just about the words. It's about sharing a moment, feeling connected, and understanding each other. So, laughter is a deep and powerful force. It's a way we deal with the unexpected, connect with others, and release emotions. It reminds us that even when life is serious, there's always room for a moment of shared lightness. And that's why it matters. It's a tiny, beautiful mystery, showing us a bit more about what it means to be human. What makes something funny? Have you ever stopped to wonder why something makes you laugh? Why a joke lands perfectly, or a silly moment suddenly breaks the tension? It's a curious thing, this burst of sound and feeling we call humor. For centuries, thinkers have been scratching their heads over it, trying to figure out what tickles our funny bone. Here's the thing. Often, humor comes from surprise. Our brains are always trying to make sense of the world, building expectations about how things should go. When those expectations are suddenly, harmlessly broken, that's where the funny often hides. It's like a little jolt, a delightful glitch in the pattern. Ancient Greek thinkers, like Plato and Aristotle, thought about this too. They suggested that humor can come from a sudden feeling of being smart, or from seeing something out of place that doesn't actually cause any harm. It's about a moment of understanding something unexpected. Think about a common prank, not a mean one, but something simple. Imagine you're walking down a hallway, expecting a solid floor, and suddenly you step on a squeaky toy hidden under a rug. Your brain expected quiet, solid ground. The sudden, harmless squeak is a surprise. There's a brief moment of tension as you realize it's not what you expected, followed by a release when you see it's just a silly toy. That release often comes out as a chuckle or a laugh. It's the tension and then the safe, unexpected twist. So, humor isn't just about punchlines or gags. It's about our minds playing with reality, finding delight in the unexpected turns life takes. It helps us process things, to see the world from a slightly different, lighter angle. And in that shared moment of laughter, we often feel a little more connected, a little less alone with our thoughts. It's a gentle reminder that sometimes the most profound answers are found in the simplest, most joyful sounds we make together. Can something exist without a name? It's a strange idea, isn't it? We give names to everything. Our pets, friends, stars, even our feelings. Names help us talk about things, to organize the world in our minds. But what about stuff that doesn't have a name yet? Does it still truly exist? Think of early humans. They saw the sun, felt the wind, heard thunder. These things were real, powerful, long before anyone had words for them. Ancient Greek thinkers like Plato believed ideas and things existed on their own, separate from the names we use. Names were like labels, helping us point to something already there. A tree was a tree, even if you never learned the word. It just stood there. Here's an example from your own life. Think about a new feeling you sometimes have. Maybe it's a mix of excitement and a little nervousness, like right before a big school event. You feel it in your stomach, in your mind. You know it's there. But if there's no perfect word for that exact feeling, does that mean it isn't real? Of course not. You're experiencing it. Or consider this. Scientists discover new planets far away. For a while, they just have a number, like exoplanet 504b. But before anyone found it, before it had a number or name, it was still there, orbiting its star for billions of years. Its existence didn't depend on us finding or naming it. Our words are tools. They help us understand and share the world. But the world, in all its amazing complexity, existed long before we started naming things. It will continue to exist, full of countless unnamed wonders, long after our words fade. The unnamed is vast, a quiet reminder of how much there is beyond what we can label. It's a beautiful thought. What if there are hidden dimensions? Have you ever stopped to wonder if there's more to reality than what we can see, touch, and measure? We live in a world of three main dimensions: length, width, and height. You can move forwards and backwards, side to side, up and down. Add time, and that's our familiar for dimensions of space-time. But here's the thing. What if there are other dimensions, curled up so small we can't detect them, or existing in ways we can't even imagine? For centuries, people have dreamed of worlds beyond our senses. Ancient philosophers talked about unseen realms. More recently, scientists, especially physicists, have explored theories where extra dimensions might explain some of the universe's biggest mysteries. It's not just a wild idea. It comes from serious thinking about how everything works. Imagine an ant walking on a garden hosepipe. From far away, you only see the ant moving along a single straight line, like it's living in just one dimension. But up close, you know the ant can also walk around the hose. That circular path is a second dimension, curled up, hidden from a distant view. What if our universe has tiny, curled up dimensions like that, all around us, too small for us to notice? Another way to think about it. Imagine a character drawn on a flat piece of paper. This character only knows two dimensions, left, right, up and down on the paper. They can't understand out or above the paper. They can't imagine someone lifting the paper, or the real world around it. Could we be a bit like that character, limited to our familiar dimensions, unable to perceive others that might surround us, influencing our world in subtle ways? This thought isn't about fear, it's about deep curiosity. If hidden dimensions exist, it doesn't mean our world isn't real. It just means our reality is far richer, far more complex, and vastly more mysterious than we currently understand. It suggests that the universe holds secrets beyond our current grasp, inviting us to keep looking, keep questioning, and keep wondering about the incredible nature of existence. It makes you feel a quiet awe for how much there might be beyond what meets the eye. Is our universe one of many? Have you ever stared up at the night sky, past all the stars, and wondered what else might be out there? What if our universe, the one we live in, isn't the only one? This is a mind-bending idea called the multiverse. It suggests that maybe our universe is just one of countless others. Think of it like a giant, endless ocean, and our universe is just one small bubble floating within it. Each bubble could have its own laws, its own history, maybe even its own versions of you. People have wondered about other worlds for a very long time. Even ancient thinkers had ideas like this. Today, scientists, especially physicists, are exploring the multiverse through math and theories. They look at things like black holes, or the very beginning of our universe. Some of their calculations hint that other universes could exist right next to ours, or even have sprung from ours. It's not proven, but it's a serious idea being explored by many smart people. Imagine you're flipping through TV channels. Each channel shows a completely different show, with different characters and stories. In a way, The multiverse is like that giant television set. Our universe is just one channel you're tuned into right now. But there are countless other channels, playing entirely different shows that you can't see or hear from your current spot. Maybe on one channel, dinosaurs still roam the earth. On another, magic is real. It's a huge thought, isn't it? To think that everything we experience might just be one tiny piece of something unimaginably vast. It can make you feel incredibly small, but also part of something so much grander. It changes how you think about possibilities, and about the sheer mystery of existence itself. It reminds us that there's always more to wonder about, far beyond what we can see or touch right now. What is the now moment? Have you ever really thought about it? The word now feels so clear. It's this very instant, right? But here's the thing. As soon as you say now, it's already gone. It slips away, becoming the past. So what exactly is this tiny, moving speck we call now? For thousands of years, smart people, thinkers and philosophers from long ago have asked this same question. They wondered if now is even real, or just a tiny border between what happened and what's about to happen. Some said you can't step in the same river twice. What they meant was, everything is always changing. Your now is never the same now as before. It's a flow, not a fixed point. Think about watching a favorite show, or even just listening to a song. You hear a sound, a note, a word. That exact sound is the now moment for your ears. But before you can even fully understand it, the next sound is already there. The now of that sound is gone, replaced. It's like a tiny, tiny window that's constantly sliding forward, never stopping, never still. We are always moving through it. So, if now is always disappearing, does it even matter? This can help you see that life isn't just about waiting for the next big thing to happen. It's about being present in this fleeting instant. It's about noticing the feeling of the chair you're sitting on, the sound of your own breath, the light hitting your eyes. The now might be tiny, but it's the only place we truly live. It's a chance to feel awake in each passing second, to be truly here. And that's why it matters. Can you step into the same river twice? When you stand by a river, watching the water flow, does it ever feel truly the same moment to moment? You might look at it and think, yep, that's the same river. But here's the thing, it's not. The water you saw a second ago is already downstream, replaced by new water. This famous question gets at a deep truth about life. Everything changes, all the time. A long, long time ago, a Greek thinker named Heraclitus talked about this. He said you can never step into the same river twice. It sounds simple, but it means a lot. He believed that everything is always in motion. Nothing truly stays frozen in time. Like a river, the world is constantly moving, always becoming something new. It's not just the water that changes either. The riverbanks erode. New stones tumble into the current. Even the air above it shifts. Think about your favorite song. You might listen to it 100 times, but each time your mood might be a little different. Maybe you hear a new instrument you didn't notice before, or perhaps the words hit you in a different way because of something that happened that day. The song itself hasn't changed, but you have, and so your experience of it is new. Your own body is like this too. Your cells are always replacing themselves. You are growing, learning, and changing every single day. The person reading this right now is slightly different from the person who started reading this paragraph. So, this idea isn't about things disappearing. It's about them always being fresh. Every moment is unique. Every encounter you have, every lesson you learn, happens with a slightly different you in a slightly different world. It's a quiet reminder to notice what's around you, right now, because this exact moment, with this exact you, will never happen again. And that's pretty amazing to think about. What is truth compared to fact? Have you ever wondered if there's a difference between what's real and what's true? It might seem like they're the same, but they're not always. This idea is a bit deep, but it's worth thinking about. Here's the thing, a fact is something you can prove. It's objective, meaning it's the same for everyone. Like, it's a fact that water freezes at a certain temperature. You can measure it, show it, and people will agree. Facts are solid bits of information. For centuries, thinkers have sought these facts. Ancient Greek philosophers, for example, really focused on finding clear, undeniable facts through observation. They believed facts were the base of all knowledge. But truth is different. Truth is broader, deeper, and often more personal. It's not just about what can be proven. It's about meaning, understanding, and how things connect. Imagine two friends arguing. The facts might be what was said, word for word, but the truth of that argument includes the hurt feelings, the misunderstandings, their shared history. Those deeper layers, the emotions, the reasons behind actions, are part of the truth, even if you can't measure them like facts. This distinction helps us look beyond just what is obvious. It suggests there's always more to learn than what first meets the eye. Maybe truth is a journey of understanding, always changing and growing as we do. It makes you think, doesn't it? Why do we try to control things? Have you ever noticed how much we want things to go our way? It's a natural feeling, this urge to control. We want to choose what happens, to make sure things turn out just so. We try to control our grades, our friends, even the weather sometimes, in our minds at least. Why is that? What makes us try to hold on to everything so tightly? For a very long time, humans have looked at the world and felt small. Think about ancient times. People lived with huge storms, wild animals, and sickness they couldn't explain. They didn't have science like we do today. So, they tried to control what they could. They made rules for their groups. They built shelters. They told stories about powerful gods who controlled nature, maybe hoping that if they pleased these gods, they could have some influence too. Philosophers throughout history have talked about this. They wondered if we control our own destiny or if fate is in charge. Some believed that by understanding the world, we could master it. Others said true wisdom was knowing what we can't control and letting go. Think about studying for a big test. You can't control what questions will be on it exactly, right? But you can control how much you study, how well you understand the material, and how much sleep you get. Doing those things gives you a sense of control over your performance. It lessens the fear of the unknown. Or think about a science experiment. You try to control all the variables, the temperature, the amount of liquid, so you can get a predictable result. It's about making sense of chaos, trying to find order. In psychology, they talk about it as a basic human need for safety and certainty. When we feel out of control, it can be scary. So, we try to create order in our lives. But maybe this urge to control isn't about being bossy or stubborn. Perhaps it comes from a deep desire for peace. We want to feel safe. We want to know what's coming next, because the unknown can feel a bit scary, and that's okay. Understanding why we reach for control can help us see when it's good to take charge, and when it's okay to simply let things be. Sometimes, the biggest strength is knowing what you can truly influence, and finding a quiet calm in what you can't. What is the difference between knowing and believing? Have you ever really stopped to think about what it means to know something, and how is that different from just believing it? It's a deeper question than it first seems. Knowing usually means you have proof, facts, or direct experience. You can show it, measure it, or see it happen again and again. For example, you know that if you let go of a ball, it will fall to the ground because of gravity. You've seen it countless times, and scientists can explain exactly why. This kind of knowing comes from evidence and understanding how the world works around us. But believing is different. Believing is accepting something as true, even if you don't have absolute, solid proof. It often comes from trust, faith, or a strong personal feeling. Think about believing in a friend. You might believe they'll keep a secret, not because you have a scientific guarantee, but because you trust them and their character. Or, consider believing that your favorite sports team will win the next big game. You hope it, you feel it deep down, but there's no definite proof until it actually happens. For a long time, thinkers from ancient Greece, like Plato, wrestled with these very ideas. They wondered how we could truly be sure of what we knew. Is what we see always real, or is it just a belief we hold? Their thoughts helped us understand that knowing often needs strong reasons and solid evidence, while believing can be more about a personal conviction or a feeling of hope. Here's the thing. Knowing is like having a reliable map that clearly shows you the roads and landmarks. You can follow its directions, confident that you will arrive at your destination. Believing, on the other hand, is more like hoping you're going the right way, even if you don't have a map at all. Or if the map you have is incomplete, you might feel strongly about your direction. You might have heard stories, but there's no solid, guaranteed proof until you actually get there. Both knowing and believing have their own important places in our lives. Knowing helps us build bridges that won't fall down and predict the weather so we can plan our day. Believing helps us have faith in ourselves, in others, or in things we can't fully grasp or see. It shapes our hopes and our dreams for the future. So, it's not about one being better than the other, but understanding what each one gives us on our journey through life. Does our past define us completely? Think about everything that has happened in your life so far. Every good moment, every tough one, every lesson learned, every mistake made. Do all of these things truly decide who you are, right now and forever? It's a deep question. Our past experiences certainly shape us. They build our memories, teach us about the world, and guide our thoughts. We carry our past with us, etched into our minds and habits. But here's the thing. Is that who you must always be? Can we truly grow in new directions? For a long time, thinkers have wondered about this. Some believed we are products of our past, like a river always following its old path. They thought our journey was set, but many others saw the human power to change. They believed in free will, that inner spark letting us make new choices, even when our past pulls us a certain way. This ability to choose and change is a big part of what makes us human. Think about a student who struggles with math. In their past, they might have failed tests or felt confused. That's part of their history. Does that past mean they will always struggle? No. If that student decides to work harder, ask for help, or find a new way to understand, they can improve. Their past doesn't have to trap their future. They can change and find joy in what was once difficult. The past is there, but the future can be different. So, while our past is always with us, like a long shadow, it isn't the whole picture of who we are. It's the story of where we've been, but not the complete story of where we are going. We carry our history, our lessons, and our memories. But we also carry the amazing power to choose, to learn from old mistakes, to forgive ourselves, and to decide, moment by moment, who we want to become next. We are always evolving, capable of writing a new chapter. Our past is part of us, not a chain. It can be a strong foundation from which we build something fresh and new every single day. Can we ever truly escape our past? Have you ever wondered if you can totally shake off what happened yesterday or even years ago? We all carry our past with us. It's not just memories, like photos in an album. Instead, your past is like the foundation of a house. Everything that came before, your experiences, mistakes, and lessons learned, shapes who you are right now. It influences how you think, how you feel, and what you do. Thinkers for ages, from ancient philosophers to modern scientists, have asked this. Are we just products of our past, or can we truly become someone completely new? Some believe early life experiences set deep patterns in our brains, like paths worn into the ground. But here's the thing. While the past shapes us, we always have the power to choose differently now. Here's an example. Imagine learning to ride a bike. Once you get it, your body remembers the balance and the pedaling. You don't escape that skill. It's now part of how you move. But what if you had a really bad fall as a kid? That memory, that fear, might still pop up when you see a steep hill, even years later. It doesn't mean you can't ride, but that experience is part of your cycling story. You can choose to push past the fear, but the event itself stays in your history. So, maybe it's not about escaping our past, but understanding it. The past isn't a prison you're locked inside. It's more like a shadow that follows you. You can't get rid of your shadow, but you can choose where you stand and how you move, so it doesn't always lead. We can learn from it, accept it, and decide how it will shape our future, instead of letting it control us. Our past helps make us unique, and that can be powerful. What is kindness, really? We talk about being kind all the time, don't we? But what does it truly mean beyond just being polite? Is it a feeling, or is it something we do? Here's the thing. Real kindness is often a choice, an active decision, to bring good into someone's world, even when it might not directly benefit you. It's about recognizing the humanity in others and wanting them to feel okay, to feel seen. For thousands of years, people have thought deeply about kindness. Ancient thinkers saw it as a powerful virtue. They believed it wasn't just a nice thing to do, but something essential for a good life, both for individuals and for entire communities. It was about acting with a gentle spirit, showing goodwill, and contributing to the well-being of others, not just yourself. It was seen as a way to build strong, caring societies, where people looked out for one another. Think of it like this. Imagine you're walking down the hall, and someone drops all their books, Most people might just walk past, but kindness is the quiet pull that makes you stop, bend down, and help them pick everything up. You don't get anything out of it. Maybe you even miss a few seconds of class, but you made their moment easier. Or, consider how a flock of birds flies together, each one adjusting its path to stay with the group, helping the whole flock move efficiently and safely. That's a kind of cooperation, a shared purpose that benefits everyone involved. So, kindness isn't just a small, fleeting moment. It's a foundational thread woven into the fabric of human connection. It's a deep, quiet agreement to care. It's the gentle ripple effect of choosing compassion over indifference, making the world a little softer, a little brighter, for everyone. And that's why it matters so much. Why do we help strangers? Have you ever seen someone drop their books and felt an immediate urge to help pick them up? Or maybe you held a door for someone you'd never met. It's a strange thing, isn't it? We often reach out and lend a hand to people we don't know, people who aren't family or close friends. What makes us stop and offer a kind act to a stranger, often without expecting anything in return? One idea is that it's simply part of being human. Think way back to ancient times. Humans lived in groups or tribes. If someone in the tribe got hurt, helping them wasn't just good for that one person. It helped the whole group. The entire group depended on each other to survive. So, helping others, even those not directly related, became a natural way to keep the group strong. Philosophers, people who thought deeply about life's big questions, have wondered about this for hundreds of years. They asked if we help because we feel a deep sense of shared experience. It's like we can imagine ourselves in someone else's shoes. This feeling is often called empathy or compassion. It's that moment when you see someone struggling and you genuinely wish you could make things easier for them. Here's the thing. Some scientists who study our brains say that helping others actually makes us feel good. When we do something kind, our brains can release certain chemicals. These give us a warm, happy feeling. So, maybe it's not just about what's good for the group, but also what feels good inside us. It's like when you share your snack, and you feel a little buzz of happiness seeing your friends smile. This natural urge to help might be a mix of old survival instincts and a built-in reward system. It's a quiet, powerful reminder that deep down, we are connected. Those small acts of kindness to strangers, holding a door, picking up dropped items, or just offering a kind word, show that we value each other. They remind us that even in a big, sometimes confusing world, there's a simple, good part of being human that makes us reach out. It's a silent promise that we're all in this together. Is there a universal good? Have you ever wondered if there's something that is simply, absolutely good? Something everyone, everywhere, in all times, would agree is the right thing? This is a big question people have explored for thousands of years. Does a universal good truly exist? Here's the thing. People throughout history have searched for this. Ancient thinkers, like those in old Greece, wondered if one perfect idea of goodness existed to guide all our actions. They hoped it would make the world a better place. But different cultures, and even people close to us, often have different ideas about what's truly good. Think about telling the truth. Most of us agree being honest is good, right? It builds trust. But imagine this. Telling the truth would seriously hurt someone's feelings, or even put them in danger. Is telling the truth still the only good thing to do then? It gets complicated. Fast. Or helping someone. It feels good to help a friend. But what if your help accidentally causes more problems later? This shows what seems good in one moment might not be so clear in another. So, is there a single, simple, universal good? Maybe not in the way we first imagine it. But here's what I found. The search for it helps us think deeply about what matters, like kindness, fairness, and how our actions affect others. Even if we can't find one perfect answer, just asking the question changes us. It reminds us that good isn't a fixed rule. Instead, it's a path we're always walking, trying our best to do what's right in our hearts. What is the point of asking big questions? Have you ever wondered why we ask questions that have no easy answers? Like, what's the point of life? Or why are we here? It might feel pointless, like trying to catch smoke. But here's the thing. Asking these big, deep questions isn't really about finding one single final answer. Instead, it's about the journey of thinking itself. It's about stretching your mind, pushing past what you already know. When you ask these questions, you open your mind to possibilities you hadn't considered. You start looking at the world, and yourself, in new ways. Think about people from long ago. Before science had explained so much, they looked up at the night sky. They saw the stars, the moon, the sun rising and setting, and they asked, what are those lights? Why do they move? Where do we come from? These weren't easy questions, and they didn't have telescopes or books to tell them. But asking them led to understanding seasons, to navigating vast oceans, and eventually to sending rockets into space. An ancient Greek thinker named Socrates believed that a life lived without asking questions, without truly thinking about things, wasn't worth living. He meant that curiosity is what makes us truly human. Consider a time you tried to solve a really tough puzzle, or figure out a tricky problem with friends. You didn't get the answer immediately. You probably tried different ways, thought about it from different angles. Each attempt, even if it didn't work perfectly, taught you something new. It made your brain work harder and smarter. Or think about a scientist. They spend years asking questions no one has answered yet, like how do cells work, or what created the universe. They don't expect a quick reply, but their questions lead to amazing discoveries that help us all. These big questions about our existence work in a similar way. They might not have simple yes or no answers we can write down and be done with, but they make us pause. They make us think deeply about who we are, what we value, and our place in the vast universe. They help us connect with other people who also wonder, making us feel less alone in our thoughts. And that's why it matters. Asking big questions is about becoming more curious, more understanding, and ultimately, more ourselves. It's about finding beauty in the search, not just the solution. Does the universe care about us? Have you ever gazed up at the night sky, at all those countless stars, and felt incredibly small? It makes you wonder, doesn't it, if all that vastness out there actually notices us, if it has any feelings about us at all. For a long time, humans believed the universe did care. Ancient people saw the sun, moon, and stars as gods or powerful spirits. They thought the sky watched over them. Eclipses or comets were signs from a grand cosmic force. They believed we were part of a greater design, noticed by it. But here's the thing: as science grew, as we learned more about space, our understanding changed. We now know the universe is mostly empty space, filled with countless galaxies, stars, and planets. It runs on natural laws, gravity, physics, chemistry. These laws don't have emotions. Supernovas, black holes, planets forming all happen because of these rules, not because the universe intends them. Think of a giant ocean. The ocean is vast and powerful. It creates beautiful waves and holds deep mysteries, but it doesn't care if a ship sails safely or a tiny fish is eaten. Waves happen because of wind and tides. The ocean just is, following its rules. The universe is like that. It provides the stage for everything, but it doesn't clap for us or shed a tear. This idea that the universe doesn't care might sound a little cold at first. It might make us feel even smaller, but here's another way to think about it. If the universe doesn't care, then we get to decide what matters. Our ability to think, to feel, to create, and to care for one another is incredibly special. We are the part of the universe that can look back, wonder, and find meaning. And that, in itself, is a powerful and beautiful thing. Why do we keep searching for answers? Have you ever wondered why we even bother with these giant, unanswerable questions? Why do we think so much about things we can't truly figure out? Here's the thing: it's built into us. Since humans first walked the earth, they've looked up at the stars, wondered about life and death, and tried to make sense of their world. It's a deep, powerful urge. We want to understand, to put pieces together, to feel like we get it. It's like a puzzle our minds are always trying to solve, even when we know some pieces are missing forever. Think about it like this. Imagine you're given a complicated puzzle with 1,000 pieces. You start putting it together, even if you know you might never find all the edge pieces or the picture on the box is torn. Each piece you connect, each small section you complete, gives you a little thrill. It's not just about finishing. It's about the process of discovery, the challenge, the feeling of your brain working. Ancient thinkers, like the Greek philosophers, spent their lives just asking questions. They didn't have the internet or science labs. They just had their minds and the world around them, and they found value in the act of asking, in the journey of thought. They knew some answers were out of reach, but the search itself taught them so much about themselves and their place. So maybe we keep searching, not because we expect to find a final, perfect answer to everything. Maybe it's because the search itself makes us feel more alive. It pushes our minds, connects us to each other across time, and helps us see the beauty in mystery. It's a way of feeling wonder, even when things don't have a clear explanation, and that's okay. Sometimes, the most important part is just to keep looking, to keep wondering. What if there are no answers at all? What if, for some of the biggest questions we ask, there isn't a single, clear answer waiting for us? Imagine asking about the meaning of life, or what happens after we die, or if there's a purpose to the universe. We search and search, hoping to find that one perfect explanation. But what if the truth is, sometimes, there isn't one? This idea isn't new. For a long time, people have wondered if some things are just too big for our brains to fully grasp. Ancient Greek thinkers, like the skeptics, believed we should sometimes admit we don't know for sure. They suggested being okay with not knowing everything. They thought constantly searching for every definite answer could make us feel stressed. Instead, they found peace in accepting that some mysteries might simply stay mysteries. Think about a really puzzling dream you had last night. You might try to figure out what it means, trying to pull apart every detail. But maybe, sometimes, a dream is just a dream, a random mix of thoughts and feelings from your day, with no deep hidden message. Or, imagine a piece of music you truly love. You might feel it deeply, but can you truly explain why it makes you feel a certain way? There's no single right answer to the feeling a song gives you, or why it connects with you. It's just how it hits you, uniquely. So, here's the thing. Accepting that some questions might not have answers isn't about giving up on curiosity. It's about finding a different kind of understanding and peace. It means sometimes the journey of asking is more important than the destination of finding a final answer. It means there's a calm feeling that comes from letting go of the need for every mystery to be solved. We can still wonder, still explore, and be okay with the vast, beautiful unknown that surrounds us.